Hello, hello, hello. Hello. We are gonna go ahead and finish chapter 7 today. And afterwards, I'll end the stream for about like 5 minutes. And then we're gonna jump into some Pokemon. Sound good? Good. Alright.
腹減りましたね。途中で食事に寄った方が良かったんじゃないですか？
そうですね。もうすぐ8時か。お昼が遅かったから忘れてました。とりあえず話を聞いたらおたふくにお茶漬けでも食べに行きましょう。
警官を4人行かせてましたよね。交代を送らないと答える頃ですね。フルデさんが気を利かせて出前でも取っててくれればいいんですがね。
Oishi and Kumagai had passed through Okinomiya and were getting closer and closer to Hinamizawa. They hurried on their way, driving through the dark streets.
フルデ理科の全てを話そうっていうのはとても気になるっすよね。
多分相当とんでもない話が飛び出しますよ。あの村はね、本当の名前は鬼ヶ淵村。鬼ヶ淵ってのは沼ですからね。沼の名を冠した村なわけです。
沼なだけにそこが知れませんね。フルデ理科の護衛ですけどどうします？
彼女の話次第では秘密の場所にかくまった方がいいでしょうね。ひなみ沢ってのは村が丸ごと魔物の腹中と同じなんです。あの村の中では何が起こるかわからない。とにかく聞いてみないことにはわかりません。
フルデ家の当主が命を狙われていて、園崎家次期当主はそれを守ろうと思っている。そんな状況下で誰がフルデ理科を？あとは君吉家くらいしか勢力が思いつかないです。
君吉家には臭い話は聞いてないんだけどな。やっぱり村には信仰を軸にした勢力が隠れてるってのかな。沼の底がどうなってるのか楽しみです。
The road they were on was cutting through the rice fields, leading them to pass by the scene of Jiro Tomitake's murder.
高野が富武を放置した。そこまでは間違いないと思いますが、富武のあの異常な死に方は一体何だってんでしょう。鑑識のじいさま、覚醒剤は出なかったって言ったんですよね。
確かに薬物反応は出なかったそうですが、だからって絶対なかったって保証はありません。この世にはおかしな薬なんてきっと無数にある。それら全部が間違いなく使われていないなんて保証は誰にも出せませんよ。
Smart Oishi, smart boy.
自分が知らない薬だから実在しないなんて、そんな傲慢は刑事が口にしちゃいけない。
He's on the nail.
あったからにはあるんです。だからきっと富武に首をかき破らせる薬は実在する。そいつは犯人逮捕の折にたっぷり喋ってもらいますよ。あるいはフルで理科が話してくれると一番嬉しいんですがね。なクマちゃんも今回の山で決めつける捜査がどれだけ冤罪を生み出してきたかよく分かったでしょう。
ありゃひどかったっすね。あいつうちの署に嫌がったら俺でも許さないところです。
結局最後まで間違いは認めてませんからね。お隣さんはあくまでもあの死体は高野美代だったで通すつもりのようです。でもうちは高野美代生存でいきますよ。あとは県警同士のトップ会談で決着するでしょう。向こうのボンミスは確定してるんですから。認めると怒られると思って 躍起になって上塗りしてるんですよね。いやはや、そういう体質は改めないといけません。
The car suddenly shook. The concrete road had ended, leaving only gravel. At that point where the gravel road begins, you're officially in Hinamizawa. They continued to drive through the woods for a while.
クマちゃん、ちょいと止めて。
は？
Oishi had told him to stop immediately. Kumagai quickly slammed on the brakes. Their seatbelts tightened up, keeping them in their seats.
どうしたんですか？
あの車、何やってんだろうな、こんなところで。
Oishi tapped on the rearview mirror. There was a van parked just off the road. Rather beat up, it looked like it was used for a private company. There was no reason for someone to park their car here, especially at this time of night. Kumagai also thought it looked suspicious. The car seemed empty, but there was a light flashing in the woods nearby. Probably a flashlight.
不審ですね。こんな時間に。それにしてもよく気づきましたね。
いつも言ってます。刑事は四六時中目を皿にしてろってことです。何やってんだろうな。不法投棄かな。まさか死体埋めてるんじゃないだろうな。
Most likely.
あるいは刺激不足のアベックかな。
Doubtful.
車のセンスからしてそれはないか。なあ、沖宮 PS どうぞ。聞こえてるかな。なはは、こんばんは、さようなら。
こちら沖宮 PS 感度良好です。
車両ナンバー紹介お願いします。獅子骨ハノ4344。
不詳獅子骨歯の4344。少々お時間もらいますがよろしいですか。
お願いします。
おいさん、地図で見るとここ電話会社の施設がありますね。
電話会社の施設って何ですかそりゃ。
It was listed as a facility, but it wasn't staffed. It was just a place where machines were installed. Kumagai wasn't sure how telephone lines actually worked, but either way, it seemed like some kind of connecting device was located there.
普通のワゴンだよな。電話会社にゃ見えませんね。
電話会社ならそう書いた車で来るはずっすよね。
委託の伝説業者か何かの可能性もありますし、直接聞いた方が早そうですね。
Oishi wasn't sure if that was the case. After all, why would any phone company go to do maintenance so late at night?
ちょいと行ってみましょうか。フォルデさんたちを待たせてますからね。パパッと行きましょう。
そうっすね。
His well-honed detective instinct was trying to tell him something. This feeling wasn't one that Oishi could easily explain. He has a strong sense that something was suspicious, without any real reasoning behind it. Oishi trusted that he could judge others' characters with that sense.
ウグイス2よりウグイス1。車両が1台停車。2人降りました。おそらく刑事です。そちらへ接近中、1分未満で接触します。
It was pitch black, yet they could see the two newcomers clearly. They were probably using a night vision scope.
了解。全隊員注意せよ。ウグイス2から5はグリーンライトを待て。ウグイス7から8は前後 100m のクリアを確認せよ。
待機。
Oh god, they're gonna game end them?
ウグイス4、5。聞こえたな。
ウグイス4了解。
ウグイス5了解。
ウグイス7了解。
ウグイス8了解。
ウグイスより本部。ウグイスより本部。電話設備工作中にトラブル。私服警官2名の職質と思われる。発砲許可を申請。
Oh my god.
本部了解。許可を待て。
By the time Oishi and Kumagai reached the phone facility, they were being watched from all directions. There were 2 pairs of binoculars, and 2 sniper rifles pointing at them. The Mountain Dog operatives worked in 2 main units, a sniper and a spotter, to secure the means of retreat. They had all taken different positions so that they could shoot Oishi no matter where he tried to run. They were all in camouflage suits, hiding deep in the woods. Oishi, of course, had no chance of spotting them. The snipers had their rifles trained on the detectives' heads. Oishi and Kumagai had no idea that they were on the verge of losing their very lives. The snipers' rifles had their safeties on, but a flick of their thumbs would release them. In other words, they were ready to shoot if given the order. The detectives found the fenced-in machinery right behind the parked van. There was a sign there saying that it was property of the Nippon Telegraph and Telephone Corporation, and another sign warning people to keep away.
どうもこんにちは。
すみません。作業中ですんで入らないでもらえますかね。
There were 4 men working there wearing blue overalls. They had a toolbox open and were working on some wires.
どうも仕事中お邪魔してすみません。警察の者でございます。いえね、不思議なところに不思議な時間に車が止まっていたもので、どうしちゃったのかなと思いまして。
そうですか。お仕事ご、うちらももうちょっとで終わりますんで。
おたくらどちらさんです？電電の人じゃないでしょう。
ああ、失礼しました。おこのぎ電気設備工事と申します。
Dude, do they just name all their fake companies Okanogi insert thing that they're working on? Bro.
あれすいません。名刺を切らしちゃってるみたいです。
おこのぎ電気設備工事さんって会社どちらです？
はい。沖宮になりますけど。
Bro, these guys suck. Oh my god.
会社の電話番号と住所を教えてください。
なんでそんなこと聞きますか？
Dude, if these guys were actual employees, they would get fired in a millisecond.
電話番号忘れちゃいました？
Well, she looked at them with a piercing glare. Their response was very suspicious. Usually the vehicle of an electric company is full of various types of electrical equipment and repair tools. However, the van parked there had nothing inside and it looked just like an ordinary car. Also, a company vehicle usually has the name of the company painted on it. But this one was just a plain van with no markings on it. None of that was the reason that Oishi found them suspicious, though. It was their attitude that bothered him. They didn't sound nor look like typical contractors. They were obviously not electricians. It was far too late in the day, and there were far too many of them. They were also clearly suspicious of Oishi. However, that was all he could tell just by looking around. He found them suspicious, but he had no idea what they were up to. One of the men told Oishi the phone number. Kumagai wrote down the number so he could ask the station to call and confirm it was real.
私らそんな怪しいもんじゃありませんって。
あんたら怪しすぎです。
Oishi's like, bro, what are you on about?
一体何者です？ 委託業者なら作業写真用に作業前作業後とか書かれた黒板とかあったりするでしょう。そういうのもないですし、だいたいあんたたちの雰囲気が違いすぎます。
おまわりさん、そんな意地悪言われちゃかなわないです。勘弁してください。私ら早く作業を終えて帰らなきゃならないんです。
Judging from their progress, it didn't look like they'd be cleaning up anytime soon. In fact, it almost seemed like they were just getting started.
もう化けの皮は剥がれてんだよ、兄ちゃん。
It's pretty obvious you're lying, son.
電気屋に化けるときは、まずバイトして、勉強してからにしな。
Oishi raised his voice threateningly. The members of the mountain dogs gradually started to look more and more annoyed. Oishi looked over their expressions and gave them a big wide grin. However, Oishi had no idea. He thought he could handle these suspicious people with no issues. Of course, in reality, they were horrific demons that he had no chance against. Meanwhile, Kumagai was heading back to the car. He was intending to contact the police department. He was going to call the station using the radio. Then, in turn, the police department would contact the NTT. That way it would become clear who they were really dealing with.
本部よりウグイス1
Uh-oh.
発砲許可。
Oh, man. R.I.P. Oishi and the boy.
ウグイス7クリア。ウグイス8クリア。
The sniper was still aiming at Kumagai's head as he headed back toward their car. The safety, that last line protecting Kumagai's life, was disengaged. The sniper put his finger on the trigger. He was wearing a glove with the fingertips cut out. The finger poking through the hole was very rough and merciless. For as soon as he slightly moved that finger, he would take someone's life.
ウグイス1より狙撃犯オールグリーン。
Kumagai heard a quiet noise. It was similar to the sound of the jump rope that he used to use as a whip when he was little. And that was the last thought Kumagai had in this world. Oh man. Kumagai collapsed onto the gravel. That was it. He didn't even twitch. R.I.P. Kumagai. 07. You did good, soldier. Rip Oishi. 07. You did good, soldier! Oishi was laying on his back on the concrete after getting shot in the chest. His lungs were filled with blood, which began to pour out of his mouth. Oishi only realized that he'd been shot when the world began to blur before his eyes. 07's, boys. As his world keeled over, he saw a man in a work uniform, leveling a gun at him, but it didn't matter anymore as he started drowning on his own blood.
沖宮 TS より大石社どうぞ。
I am late. Oishi and Kumagai just died. Give a quick 07 for them, Golden.
先ほどのナンバーが判明しました。大石社どうぞ。大石社応答願います。あれ電波悪いのかな。
No, no, you didn't.
大石社応答願。
出ませんね。大石さんが車両紹介？誰の車だよ。村人の車ですね。至って平凡な。何者だよ。大石さんが聞いてくるからにはただものじゃないんだろ。突起事項欄は完全に空欄ですね。S 号指定もなし、減点もなしだし。
パッシングでもされて腹が立ったんじゃないの？あの人根に持つとなかなか忘れないタイプなんだよ。
ウグイスより本部。2名を射殺。作業を再開。
本部了解。警官の車両処理は慎重に行われたし。サンサ、ウグイスは警官2名を排除、作業を再開。
お
おやすみなさい、大石さん。
Oh. Lord help me. I'm about to sin. Y'all didn't hear that. Let me see the other styles. Lord help me, I'm about to sin.
私の尻尾をつかめてもう一息だと思ったでしょうに。残念ね。
Oh sevens, Oichi. Oh sevens.
コーヒーをもらえるかしら。
どうぞ。しかし厄介な展開になってきましたね。R 宅には依然私服警官数名とそれから友人数名がいるそうです。 R は自分が今夜殺されることに感づいているとしか思えません。作戦が漏れています。やはり決行は延期すべきでは。
明日の朝には死体が見つかっていないといけないのよ。お偉いさんたちの日程上、その日が一番都合がいいって話なんだから。
Okay, so Takano's definitely not like the main villain. She's just like kind of like a... She's also, in a way, kind of like a lackey. Even though she is a major, which is a pretty big, like... You get what I mean.
作戦は決行します。
The crucial part of this final mission was the death of Rika and what came after that. They couldn't just kill her whenever they wanted. Doing it at the right time was vital.
山犬による過剰な警備にかえって過敏に反応したのでしょうか。
違うわね。漏洩じゃない。予言よ、あれは。富武の死と、そして私ですら知り得なかった偽装死体の状態まで知っていた。
You're good, Golden. Like I say, you only have to stop by if you feel like it. It's not like a job. I promise you're okay, man.
あの子は女王なのよ。南沢の頂上存在の頂点に立つ女王で、巫女で降臨したるお社様の血脈に連なる正当な末裔。神を欺くことなどできない。知られるのは宿命だったのよ。フルでリカをあっさり暗殺などできるわけがなかった。いいわよ、リカちゃん。あなたと私、どちらがお社様の伝説を受け継ぐにふさわしいか勝負しようじゃない。あなたの死はお社様のたたりの最後を飾り、この村の伝説のフィナーレを飾る。私の作り上げた物語はその時こそ本当のたたりになるの。
God, Takano's hot. I'm sorry. I know she's evil. I'm sorry. God, I love Takano. Step on me. Okay. It was now past 8 p.m. Mion ordered some noodles for us, her treat. We also ordered some food for the 4 officers, and we all ate together. We were supposed to call it a night as soon as we talked to Oishi, but he's still not here. However, we all took it easy, assuming that they'd get here sooner or later. It's getting late. Once you get to Hinamizawa, there aren't any places to get something to eat. I'm sure they're having a quick dinner before coming here. However, the 4 officers seem anxious. They all had families, but Oishi didn't tell them how late they'd have to be out here. They're hoping that Oishi will bring other officers to relieve them so they can go home. They called the station, but all they said was that Oishi was on his way. And we should wait because he'll be here soon.
遅いね、大石さん。
渋滞にでも巻き込まれたんだよ。ちょうど帰宅ラッシュの時間帯にぶつかっただろうからね。
おまわりさんもお昼からずっといてくれてるんですのよね。交代が来てあげないとかわいそうですわね。
そうだな。
Oh, I'm talking as Rika. I should have known that.
何時に終わるのかもわからない仕事って疲れるもんな。
警察の人には休んでもらって、私たちが夜景にでも立ちます？聡子のトラップワークで不審者の接近を阻むとか。
甘いですわね、シオンさん。ここは私とリカの家なんでしたよ。常に二重三重のトラップが張り巡らせてありますわ。そうなんだ。神社で遊ぶときは注意しないとね。
With our stomachs full, the mood in the house had returned to a light-hearted one. True, we shouldn't be so relaxed, but knowing that Oishi would be here shortly made us feel relieved. But he's so late. He said he'd be here in an hour. Mion mentioned that he might have gotten stuck in traffic. But I'm sure Oishi was considering that. That's why he told me it'd take him about an hour. And it had now been 1 hour since the time Oishi was supposed to get here. I want to believe that he's getting something to eat on the way, but I'm starting to get concerned. Oishi still hasn't shown up. It's almost 11 o'clock. The officers are completely exhausted. They had even started to smoke cigarettes outside. My friends are becoming tired too. Satoko is yawning. It's way past our bedtime. Everyone else is getting tired and sleepy. We've been spending our time watching TV and reading manga. I can feel my fears succumbing to sleepiness. Today is almost over. I'm going to survive the day I'm supposed to die. Does that mean that I escaped my deadly fate? No. I'll have to fight endlessly from tomorrow on. I was going to discuss that with Oishi. Since he's not here, I don't know what to do from this point on. Suddenly the phone rang, breaking the silence.
大石さんか。
もしもし。なのです。
Oh my god, that gave me a heart attack. Hey Fuki, how you doing?
夜分遅くに申し訳ありません。沖宮署の小宮山と申します。すみません。うちの大石ですが、そちらにおりますか？
いいえ。僕たちもずっと待っているところなのです。
そうですか。わかりました。申し訳ございませんが、そちらに行っている警官に今から応援が行くので、引き継いだら祈祷するようお伝えいただけますか？
わかりましたです。それで、大石はどこに？
夕方頃、直接そっちへ行くと連絡があったきりだったので、てっきりそちらへお邪魔してるものと思っていました。大石と交代で警官たちが戻ってくることになってたのですが、いつまでも戻らないのでどうなっているのかと思いまして。
That's what I'd like to know, but arguing with the man on the phone wouldn't accomplish anything. I hung up and gave the message to the officers downstairs. It looked like everyone already heard our exchange on the phone.
どうしたんでございましょうね。遅いにも程がありましたよ。
何か重要な仕事があったりして道草でも食ってるとか？
それなら電話すると思うな。これから行くって電話したんだよ。これだけ遅くなったら絶対に電話してくれると思うな。
まさか東京って連中に襲われたとかか？
Yup.
まさか。
God dang it, Shion.
と言いたいところですが、リカちゃまの言うような連中が相手なら絶対そんなわけないとも言い切れないのが怖いところです。多分急用が入ったんだよ。それで電話をするのを忘れてるんだと思う。向こうも大の大人、それも天下の大石だよ。
Yeah, but even a tough guy is not invincible to bullets, and also multiple people.
そうそう簡単には消されないって。
You would be surprised.
来るなら早く来てほしいですわね。ふぅ。
Satoko yawned. Everyone laughs, but some of them are trying not to yawn themselves. We can't stay up forever. We decided that we'd call it a night once the replacement officers arrived. I'm sure I've survived past the time I was supposed to die. That's probably because the police were protecting me. Perhaps both Takano and the mountain dogs are also on my side, and they took care of the murderer. I don't know who was changing my fate. Maybe my fate hasn't been changed, and I'm going to get killed soon anyway. I don't know if it's because of the police or because of the mountain dogs, but the only thing I know for sure is that there will be blood, shit, I'm sorry, is that I'm still alive. Soon I heard the noise of someone walking on the gravel in the shrine grounds. One of my friends suggested that it might be Oishi, but I doubt it. I don't want to expect him and be disappointed when it's not. I'm starting to think like Hanyu.
こんばんは。沖宮署から参りました。小宮山と申します。
It wasn't Oishi. Two of his fellow detectives had arrived instead. They were going to stay downstairs and have the 4 officers return home. They also told my friends to leave.
あとは私たち警察がいますので、どうぞ皆さんは家に帰ってください。ご家族の方が心配しますよ。
みんなありがとうです。刑事さんたちが来てくれましたし、もう大丈夫なのです。
本当に大丈夫？邪魔でなければ私たちも泊まるよ。
Well, she's gonna die either way, so.
大丈夫なのです。第一、お布団も寝巻きもないのです。じゃあ明日。これからはなるべくリカちゃんと一緒にいるようにしよう。部活はリカちゃんの家でやるっていうのでどうかな。あら、それなら素敵でございますわよ。
Me.
僕たちの家の床が抜けてしまうかもしれませんです。
違いねえな。
じゃあリカちゃま、私たちこれで帰りますけど用心してください。暗闇で一人になるなんてことは絶対しないように。
気をつけますです。じゃあね。また明日。はいです。また明日。
It's not gonna happen. See you tomorrow. Am I really going to see them tomorrow? Well, your corpse might, but not you yourself, unfortunately. I have no clue. I've tried so many things over the past 100 years. I've done many things and I have memories of most of them. That's why I feel so scared on the day I die. It's the only day that I have no memory of. I don't even know if I'm approaching or escaping my death right now. All I know is that this fear is going to continue until I find some kind of solution. As I started to getting ready to bed, Satoko suggested that I should sleep in my regular clothes than in my pajamas. She was thinking that I should remain dressed just in case someone tries to attack me in my sleep. It sounded ridiculous, but she was just trying to be considerate. I decided to do what she told me to. Satoko seemed so sleepy until a few minutes ago, but she suddenly started passionately explaining to me all the traps that she set on the shrine grounds. She assured me that the strangers will end up trapped if they tried to sneak inside this building. To someone else it might sound like she was just trying to brag, but Satoko was trying to make me feel better. After everyone else left, she noticed how scared I looked. Satoko's kindness and everyone else's kindness. I feel it was the right decision for me to talk to my friends. Even if that won't end up changing my fate.
Rika.
Hanyu showed up again. She looked upset, so she was probably still thinking that I could get killed at any minute. But I'm actually starting to feel a little better. I might get killed tomorrow, but I feel like I can rest safely at least tonight. I'm more concerned about the fact that Oishi didn't show up. Still, even if he didn't, the other detectives are here and will stay on guard downstairs without sleeping. As long as they're here, I think I'll be safe tonight.
どうしたの？お腹でも空いたの？出前じゃ甘いのはないからね。冷蔵庫のジュースでも飲む？
Hanyu would usually cheer right up when I suggested drinking some juice. But not this time. Her face looked pale, as if she wasn't even alive. Something out of the ordinary had clearly happened.
どうしたの？もうすぐ時間がやってきますのです。
Oof! That sounded far more like a declaration than a prediction. Even Hanyu doesn't have any memories of my death. There's no way she can tell when I will be killed. However, she sounded so certain just now. Perhaps we can feel it in the very cells of our body. Our bodies understand fate far better than we do. Up until now, I felt reassured that we could get through it somehow if we were all together. But as I clung to that life preserver with a hole leaking air, I was starting to drown in a sea of despair, and struggling to keep my head above water. No, I can't let myself feel that way. I have to believe.
大丈夫よ、羽生。私は抗う。たとえ明日殺されるとしても、今夜殺されるという運命にだけは抗う。
Hanyu just gave me a look of faint sadness. That silence told me that my pitiful hope was going to push me down into a futile reality. I stared at Satoko as she continued to brag about her traps. If I'm getting killed shortly, Satoko won't be safe either. I quickly interrupted her talk about traps. The time was 1 in the morning. As it's hardly a big city, 1 a.m. in Hinamizawa is the middle of the night. The darkness here gets very deep. There was light leaking out from the first floor where 2 detectives sat on guard, but everything else was pitch black. Even the moonlight seemed indistinct.
予定時刻です。1階には刑事2名。2階は消灯してすでに1時間以上が経過します。本部より3佐、決行の判断を。
こんなに月の綺麗な夜だもの。始めなさい。
刑事は排除でよろしいですか？
そうね。今夜古出神社にいた人間は全てが忽然と姿を消し、鬼隠しとなる。
Oof.
それでいいわ。
本部より大鳥。作戦開始。保証の刑事2名は実力で排除せよ。なお発砲は許可しない。繰り返す。発砲は許可しない。本部よりウグイス。 大鳥が作戦を開始する。電話線を遮断せよ。
ウグイス了解。遮断する。
They had been working to disable the phone lines, just in case their target tried to contact the police during the attack. That mission was what Oishi happened to bump into.
ほんじゃ始めるかいね。大鳥湾より全隊員へ突入準備。1階の刑事2名と2階の同伴者1名を排除せよ。痕跡を残せん。発砲禁止。ガスも使えんね。テーサーを使え。単銃で武装してるぞ。撃たせるな。
おこのぎ、素人相手に手こずらないでよ。
まあ仕事ですね。大鳥セブン8前進。バックアップは周辺警戒を厳重にされたし。
大鳥セブン了解。前進する。
The two men in uniform slowly approached the building. The mountain dog's uniform is gray, so it didn't blend in with their surroundings at all. However, it doesn't look as suspicious as real camouflage suits. Of course, they look suspicious enough creeping up to the house like that anyway. They could both see light leaking from the door and hear the voices of the detectives. Rika would typically use this sliding door to get inside. The door was locked, but the mountain dogs had obtained a spare key a long time ago. They put the key in the keyhole, but it wouldn't go in smoothly. They were certain it would make some kind of noise when they turned it. The detectives would notice them the minute they did that. They'd have to rush inside and defeat them in one swift burst. Phoenix's 7 and 8 glanced at each other.
大鳥セブンより本部、準備位置に到着。突入指示を請う。
高野です。綺麗に決めるのよ。行きなさい。
了解。突入する。
Clack, clack! He turned the key in a hurry and opened the lock. By the time the detectives turned around, the door was already open and the two mountain dogs had stepped inside. They had aimed their weapons at the detectives while the latter were still turning around. In a fight like that, the first 2 seconds are the most crucial moments. Oof! The detectives collapsed, making minimal noise. There were needles stuck in their bodies, and those needles were connected via wires attached to the attackers' guns. In other words, the weapons those two had weren't ordinary guns, they were stun guns in the shape of firearms. Instead of bullets, they shoot out electric needles that electrocute their victims into unconsciousness. Normally, they would be non-lethal weapons that allowed the shooter to capture the victim without harming them much, but their tasers had been modified. The two dogs started walking up the stairs as soon as they confirmed the detectives were no longer breathing. But in the next moment, they heard a loud noise above them.
こちら大鳥店。R 以下2名が感づいた。2階の窓から飛び降りたぞ。
Let's go!
裏の茂みへ逃走している。大鳥4、5、そっちへ行くぞ。制圧しろ。
大鳥4、沈黙。
Phoenix 4 spotted the two girls and started after them, but he suddenly stepped on something hard. Pow pow pow! With a cheap-sounding explosion, the area was filled with smoke. Bro, these guys are getting trapped by an 11-year-old's traps. Think about that for a second. That was the trap Satoko had set using firecrackers. That had proven to be a very fortunate idea. The mountain dogs dropped to the ground, assuming that they were under fire. That gave Rika and Satoko a chance to escape.
なんなんですのあいつらは。リカの言う東京なんですの。多分ね。いいから走って。捕まったら殺されるわよ。
どうした応答しろ。今の音は何だ。
こちら大鳥5、銃撃を受けた模様。R は突破した。追撃する。
くそ、感触玉か何かだ。畜生め。
さとこちゃんね。やるわね。
ああ、情けな。近場の班は急行しろ。人家に逃げ込まれたらアウトだぞ。
大鳥18発見した。追跡中、応援を送れ。
二人は土地勘が強いわよ。早く抑えないと確実に見失うわ。
This wasn't a game of hide and seek, it was a game of tag. Several men in uniform were chasing after Rika and Satoko. They weren't idiots, so they didn't waste energy on a futile act of shouting wait. This was a quiet, deadly game of tag in the middle of the night.
どこへ行きますの？バラバラになって追っ手を振り切りましょうです。
That never works out. Why do people always insist on this plan, bro? I don't get it.
落ち合うのはミーの家。地下の隠し部屋なら安全だし、外部と連絡も取れますです。
Gang, let's split up. Satoko had no idea that Mion had a basement in her house, but she didn't have time to ask anything about it under her current circumstances. All she did was nod. Bang! The next moment, I felt my left foot catch on something and I fell down to the ground. I must have tripped on a rock or a piece of concrete. But Satoko wouldn't move on without me. She came back to lend me a hand. I stood up without her help, but this cost us too much time. One of the men had almost caught up with us. I didn't know what to do. But Satoko, upon seeing him, quickly reacted. Oh. Bro, you are not getting beat up by a child, bro. Are you kidding me? Satoko ran toward him and kicked him with all her might. Dude, that's a grown man getting beat up by a child. What? Her foot had landed right in his face. I wish I had a camera. But there were two more of them right behind the first man. I can see them clearly now. They're the gardeners from that landscape company. They're wearing the same uniforms Okanoki is always wearing. They must be the mountain dogs. Now I'm certain that Takano is the culprit. And now that I know that, I can do something about it in the next world. But if I die now, will I lose my memory again? I can't die now. I need to survive so I can keep my memories. Satoko took something out of her pocket and threw it at them. It was something like sand and it blinded them. However, even that could only buy us a few seconds. Satoko tried to run, but she froze as soon as they aimed their weapons at us. The stun guns are only shaped like firearms. Satoko, not knowing that, thought they were real guns. Knowing that she'll be shot if she turned and ran, Satoko tried to attack them instead. Of course, there are three of them. Most would think it impossible to drive them off, but Satoko didn't think about that. She had a 100% chance dying of she had a 100% chance of dying if she had tried to run. Then she might as well fight back because she might have a 1% chance of defeating them. Satoko's determined to save me, even at her own expense. But I can't stay in this world if it means losing Satoko. I'm dying anyway. I'd rather die for Satoko's sake than lose her. But another me was shouting in my mind. If I don't survive this, I'll lose this memory. If I die without keeping this memory, this life and everything I've learned will all be wasted. Should I escape and leave Satoko behind? That's right. I should use this experience to my advantage in my next life. I should just let go of her in this world. Based, Rika. But I know in my heart, there's no way I can win against these guys. I'm sure the backup will get here if we take our time to fight them. Should I fight them for her, or should I leave so I can confront my true enemy? Oh. Wait. Oh god, it's not letting me save. Wait, what? Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! You didn't let me choose, what? Hold on, wait.
腹減りましたね。フルデさんが
沼の底。いや、はい。
は？
あの
Hold
車。
on.
ね。で、直接。
そうっすね。
そちら。
本部了解。許可を待て。
ど
うちらも。
電話番号。
果たしろ。
一体。
勘弁し。
電気屋に化けるときは。
ウグイス8。ウグイス1より狙撃犯。
おいし
あの人。サンサ。
やはり。
作戦。
山井。
遅い。
ちょうど来た。
交代が
何時に。
さとこ。
常に神社で遊ぶ
God
と
damn
き
it,
は注意しないとね。
I really wished I had knew that was coming.
多い人交代で。
遅いに
何か
これだけを。
まさか。
まと。そうそう。
はあ。
小宮山。
刑事さん、第一部活は僕たち気をつけ。また明日。リカ、冷蔵庫のもうすぐ時間が。
遮断する。
前進する。突入する。
Okay,
大鳥4沈黙。
almost there.
早く抑えないと確実に見失う。
地下の隠し部屋ならあんたも殺されと。
Let me save right here just in case.
無理ね。それができる魔女なんかになれるものか。
Save right here, maybe? I just want to get to the closest point where I can save. So, what the heck, dude? Is that like an illusion of choice? That's like, I'm not going crazy, right? Am I going crazy? I mean, I was gonna choose save Satoko anyway, but like... Was I getting trolled? What was happening? Satoko's bravery gives me courage. If I left her, I'd lose my motivation to defeat fate. I don't care if I lose my memories. It only took 100 years for me to get this information. I don't care if I have to spend another 100 years in the same June. I can't leave Satoko. Hey, Jacob.
リカ、逃げなさいって言いましたですのよ。
I had noticed something. They're only aiming at Satoko. There must be a reason why they can't shoot me. So I stood in front of Satoko to protect her. Just as I expected, they put their guns down and prepared to take us without weapons.
あんたらは山犬ね。やっぱり黒幕は高野だったのね。私もバカね。あんたたちの正体を知りながら逃げることを選ばないなんて。でもね、私は逃げないの。ここであんたたちに殺されるのが運命だとしてもね。
I noticed that I'm gonna throw a brick and my FBI is going to come.
運命なんてね、金魚すくいの網より薄いって。
Nice. They must think that this is my final speech. They let me talk until I was finished.
バカなやつらね。だから あんたたちは金魚が救えないんだ。
The next moment, one of them dropped to the ground. What the? Oh my god, Keiichi! Chad moved out of nowhere. Keiichi had run toward them and kicked them from behind. Keiichi had kicked him right in the small of his back, and the dog was squirming on the ground. The other two tried to retaliate, but they were too late. Mion grabbed one of the guy's arms from behind and flipped him down onto the ground. It must be some kind of martial art. I've seen something like that in an action movie before. Reina tried to push the remaining dog down with all her strength, but that wasn't enough to take him out. Hello, Jacob. He tried to aim his gun at Reina, but she had already done what she was supposed to do. All she needed to do was get his attention. Shiona snuck up behind him and she fired a stun gun into his neck. The stun gun made a snapping noise and the dog fell down to the ground with the rest of his friends. Pog Kasai.
シオン、こっちの連中にもお願い。
大丈夫か、サトコにリカちゃん。まさに危機一髪だったな。お前らの足が速いんで追いつくのに苦労したぜ。
ずっと待っててよかったね。張り込んでた甲斐があったよ。張り込んでたって、あの後お家へ帰らずずっと見張っていましたの、皆さんは。うん。帰り際にね、すっごく不審な人がずっと草陰に潜んでて神社を伺ってるのを見つけたの。
I was about to say, I don't know why they would just leave after all that.
いやー、よく見つけたよな、あの暗闇で。レナには嘘も明細も通用しないってことだな。
So figuring he would leave if they spoke to him, they secretly staked out the suspicious man. Thank you for the hydrate, Jacob. They'd started following us as soon as they heard the sound of the firecrackers.
まさかここでみんなに救われるとは思わなかったのです。
とにかくここにいたらすぐに応援が来るぞ。どうする、これから。
私たちミオンさんの家に逃げ込むつもりでしたのよ。地下でかくまってもらえるとかいう話で。地下最後殿ですか？確かにあそこなら都合がいいです。しかもあそこ武器も隠してませんでしたっけ？そういうのは言わない。とにかく私もうちに逃げ込むのは賛成。あそこには秘密の通路がいくつもあるから連中の裏をかけるよ。
なら急ごう。追っ手が来てる。
A white van was approaching us at high speed. It obviously belonged to the mountain dogs. The van stopped not far from us and more people in uniform jumped out. There were at least 6 of them. If we all run, the slowest runner might get caught. So we should take them down while we can. I don't know if they have a license, but Mion and Shion know how to drive a car. We can take their van and get away from here.
分の全力でぶちのめして車をいただこう。
それは明暗ですわね。
そうと決まりゃ速攻だぜ。
The mountain dogs were ready to chase us. They had no idea that we would try and attack them instead. Reina is always the first one to make a move in this kind of situation. She gets so determined once a decision is made. She immediately singled out one dog and punched him in the nose. Bro, Reina's a freaking trooper, dude. I don't know what... She's built for tough, son. Another one tried to grab her from behind, but Keiichi kicked him in the side as hard as he could.
おいおいレナ、やり合うときは背中を気にしろよ。
ケイチ君に任せるよ。よろしくね。
レナさんのひなみ沢復帰前ってめちゃくちゃ興味あります。
Aren't we all, Shion?
というか、人殴るのに躊躇なさすぎ。スタンガン使うのに躊躇ないあんたが言わない。
You know, fair enough, Mion. Given that Shion had the stun gun, the mountain dogs were reluctant to go after her. They were scared of the very dangerous weapon she had in her hand. But thanks to that, Shion had stopped one of them for certain. It was fortunate for us that they didn't have any guns of their own. They had no way of countering Shion's stun gun. Satoko attacked him from behind. She encircled his neck with a jump rope and pulled. Shion followed up, quickly hitting him with a stun gun. What was I doing all that? The only thing I can do is run around and try to get their attention. They're pursuing me after all. They want to catch me more than anything else. But that leaves them open to attacks from my friends. Keiichi had already hit the one by trying to grab me. I think we have a chance here. We may not be able to take all of them down, but we can try and find a chance to escape to their vehicle.
リカちゃんから話を聞いていたとき、とんでもねえ奴らだとビビっていたが、どうやら俺たちと同等程度みたいじゃないか。
Counting chickens, my boy. Counting chickens.
みーちゃんの部活メンバーはつまりそのくらい強いってことなんだね。
Y'all be counting them chickens, bro.
恐れないというのが多分強さの秘密ですね。お姉の部活は遠慮ってやつをなくす訓練みたいなもんですから。
If we all fight together, we can win this 6-on-6 battle. If any of us wasn't here, they'd beat us easily. We'd end up dead. If my friends hadn't stayed behind, I would have been killed by now. We can do it. We can make it. The dogs Shion took down with her stun gun were starting to wake up. The ones that were knocked out earlier were also up and chasing us again. We have to get out of here. This isn't the time for me to just be running around.
ちょうどいいわね。やってやるわ。
リカ。
羽生、あなたは相変わらず諦めてるんでしょ。諦めない悪あがきがどれだけの力を持つか、そこで見てなさい。私は打ち破る。私たちは打ち破る。今からね。それをあなたの目の前で見せてあげる。よし、みんないいね。一撃で決めるよ。目の前の敵を一人撃ち倒せ。それから車を奪って逃げる。
はいです。僕もやりますですよ。
Let's go.
気に入ったぜ、リカちゃん。よっしゃ、行くぞー。
On Keiichi's signal, we attacked 6 of the mountain dogs in unison. Time gradually slowed down. I truly felt like I was trying to overcome that impossible wall of time and change my fate. However, time continued to slow even further, until it stopped. What's going on? It felt like the film reel of a movie had gotten hung up partway through. Like time itself had come to a standstill. Oh.
どういうこと？その時が来たのです。
Bro, was God hitting the hard reset? What the?
どうして？
Wearing a sad expression, Hanyu pointed at Keiichi. I finally noticed something. All my friends had noticed already. Except for Keiichi.
ケイチ、その胸の前に浮いているのは何ですか？
え？
何ってなんだよ。あ？これなんだよ。
Is it a grenade? Time had stopped, just when Keiichi was about to hit his opponent. He then realized that something was floating in front of his heart. It was a metallic silver cone. Oof! That was the first thing I could think of. How are they reacting to, like, this bullet and bullet time? Bro, how is the bullet like still in? What is happening? How has it not hit him yet? How are they talking? That's exactly what it was. What is happening? The bullet had stopped about 15 centimeters away from Keiichi's chest just before it would enter his body. Wait, so time is like literally stopped. That's right. Once time starts moving again, it will slam into his chest. In other words, it's too late. Keiichi will immediately die when time starts up again.
誰が撃ったの？だって相手は6人、誰も銃なんか持ってないよ。
Well, obviously it was a sniper.
あそこ。ワゴン車のところですわ。
Satoko couldn't point at the van. Time had completely stopped after all. We could see another person standing near the van. Oh, is it actually Takano? There had actually been 7 people inside, not 6. That 7th person was the one who fired the bullet. We hadn't seen her at all. I mean, no, it's... God dang it. No, it's not Keiichi. It's they're Takano killed Keiichi. I was just happy that I called it. That person is someone we all know very well. Takano... Yes, it's Takano.
高野さんだ。高野さんが撃ったの？
Let me be clear, it's sad that Keiichi died, but it's great that I called it. Well, going to die, at least.
ケイチ君は？
In the frozen world, Takano was smiling, still aiming a gun at Keiichi. Takano had been watching us from the van this whole time. She came out and fired a gun, knowing that we hadn't seen her at all.
そっか、なるほどな。やっぱり黒幕は高野さんだったんだな。
I'm really surprised y'all didn't come to that conclusion sooner.
どうしよう。
Well, not much you can do, he's dead.
ケイちゃん、なんとか体をひねってかわせないんですか？
How is this even happening? Do they all have time stop bounce?
バカ、無理なこと言うなよ。弾丸だって止まるくらいに全てが止まってるんだぞ。俺だって動けるわけがねえだろ。
なら時間が動き出すのと一緒に上半身を反らすんですの。
Yeah, just have a split second reaction, bro. Move faster than... You'd have to move like Mach 5 or like the speed of light to dodge that if it's like right in front of your chest, bro.
そうすれば少しでも違うかもしれませんわよ。
Everyone was desperate to save Keiichi. However, no matter how hard we thought, we couldn't come up with any ideas to save him from the bullets. We were so desperate that Keiichi started to laugh.
なんかよくわからないけどさ。とにかく、こうなっちまったものは仕方がない。時間が動き出せば、俺は死ぬだろう。死ななくても、まあ少なくとも戦力にはならなくなるな。
Alright, Golden. Hope you have a good time at work, buddy.
だからみんな、今のうちに俺のことを諦めろ。そして目の前の敵と高野さんをぶちのめして車を奪うことを考えるんだ。
嫌です。圭一が死んでもダメです。
Well, he's about to die.
そんな世界は嫌なのです。羽生、これが運命だというの？避けられない運命だというの？大丈夫ですよ、リカ。
It's okay.
忘れられます。忘れられますから。嘘だよ、嘘だ。ケイちゃんがこのまま死んじゃうなんて。やめなよ、みーちゃん。とにかく目の前の相手を倒すことに集中しよう。倒れるケイイチ君に振り返る時間をきっとケイイチ君は望まない。
ああ、そうだぜ、レナ。頼むぞみんな、リカちゃんを。まずはこの場を逃げ延びて監督に連絡を取れ。
He's probably already dead by now, I'll be honest with you, Chief.
多分こいつらは大石さんをもう殺してる。だからあれだけ待っても来なかったんだ。みんな生き延びろよ、絶対だ。
ケイイチ！
リカちゃん、最後の最後にごめんな。運命なんて覆せるって大見え切っておきながら最初にリタイアしちまう。
God, what a queen. I'm sorry. It sounded just like Takano's regular laughter, but it was the scariest noise I'd ever heard.
根性の名残は尽きた？
高野さん、これで俺たちが負けたと思うなよ。
見終わったのね、走馬灯。
The silence suddenly ended, and the clamor of reality returned. An explosive sound then hit Keiichi straight in the chest. I watched Keiichi collapse right in front of my eyes. He fell down on his back while his blood splattered everywhere. And after that, he finally stopped moving. There's no way any of us weren't shocked by that. We tried to take down the foes in front of us, but more came from behind. We tried to struggle as best as we could, but there was no way we could win against all those adults. I did my best to fight them off, but they pulled my hair and picked me up as if I weighed nothing. I heard everyone's desperate screams of resistance. The comforting and courageous unity we showed right before Keiichi was shot like shattered glass. The debris of that glass lay sadly on the ground. Takano's annoying laughter was still echoing inside my ears.
高野より本部へ。制圧したわ。私の言ったものを準備させて。それから死体がたくさん出るから処分の手配を。死体袋が5つと血を流すのに水がいるわね。持ってこさせて。
She needs 5 bags? My body froze up, but time did not. Takano, laughing, pointed a gun at Mion's head.
嘘でしょ。
あなたの背中の入れ墨、一度見てみたかったの。後で見せてもらうわね。
見たければ勝手に見ればいいでしょ。
見たってつまらないよ。
そう？私は楽しいと思うわよ。
やめて、みーちゃんを撃たないで。
God dang, we just getting offed one by one. Takano shook her head in response to Reina's scream.
ダメよ。ミオンちゃんが部長さんなんだから一番じゃなきゃね。
But you just killed Keiichi. She didn't kill you. Already killed Keiichi.
嘘。やめ。
Oof. R.I.P. Mion. There was a dull noise followed by Mion's body twitching. We all tried to break free from the men restraining us as Takano calmly shot Mion. However, they were too strong, and all we could do was squirm like insects. Takano was enjoying watching us struggle. She then stepped towards Satoko. But Shion started screaming curses at her.
あなたが先に撃たれたいのかしら？おとなしくしてればもう数秒は余計に生きられたのに。
やめて、シオンさん。挑発なんかしても意味がありませんでしたよ。
I know why she's doing that. Shion wants to protect Satoko for as long as she can. She's trying to do what Satoshi told her to. Takano didn't care one whit for Shion's feelings. Stepping over Keiichi's body, she approached Shion.
私、やっとわかりましたよ。サトシ君をあんたが殺したんですね。
Yup.
そうなんでしょ。
Yup.
あいにくね。メイドの土産って嫌いなの。
Is it really a secret at this point, Takano?
だから教えてあげないわ。
Shion's body twitched. That had followed the dull sound of another gunshot. Just 2 dull sounds had taken away the lively Sonozaki sisters. It didn't add up. I started shaking from fear when it hit me just how easily Takano can take away lives.
無抵抗の人を撃って楽しいの？この人でなし。
あら、次はあなたが撃たれたいの？黙ってれば最後の順番になったのに。
Keiichi, Mion, and Shion died. The oldest one of us left was Reina. Reina didn't want to see Satoko and me die before she did.
連続開始事件は全部高野さんの仕業だったんですね。お社様のたたりの代行者のつもりだったんですか？
代行者じゃないわ。私がたたりを下すのよ。あなたには見せられないわね。お社様の怒りがこれからこの村に下るのは、それは私が起こす。私のたたり。そう。私はまさにお社様そのものになるのよ。その時、私は人としての域をようやく超えることができるの。まあ、あなたには私の気持ちはわからないでしょうね。人を超えて神になろうとする心地よさなど誰にも理解できないわよ。
無理だと思うな。高野さんがどれだけお社様のふりをしたってお社様にはなれないよ。所詮はごっこ遊び。お社様になんかあなたはなれない。
Speak that crap, Reina.
なれるわよ。これからなるもの。
Reina laughed at her. Takano seemed very upset to hear that laugh.
何がおかしいのかしら。
無理だよ。
Keep telling her!
だってお社様はいるんだもの。
Oh! Those were Reina's last words.
さて、最後はさとこちゃんね。あなたは殺しても殺さなくてもどうでもいいの。でもあなたは生きた研究資料だからね。東京はあなたの生きたままの捕獲に懸賞金をつけてくれてるわ。大した額じゃない。私の取り分はせいぜいヨーロッパに旅行に行ったら消える程度よ。まあ生け捕りにしてもあなたは結局はろくな目に遭わないけどね。生きたまま頭蓋を切開されるのが関の山よ。それに私あなたとはお友達だったしね。この場で撃ち殺してあげるのも優しさかと思ってる。
God, this is sad, man.
どっちがいい？
そんなの決められるわけないでございますわよ。
Satoko shouted back at her. Her eyes were full with tears.
じゃあクイズ。ブロッコリーとカリフラワー。
Oh, that's cruel, dude.
緑色はどっち？
ブロッコリー。
Hey, she got it right. Pow. As soon as I heard that same dull sound, Satoko stopped moving. Takano smiled and said good girl to what used to be Satoko.
本当に今夜は月の綺麗な素敵な夜だことね。あなたもそう思わない？
そして私を殺すのね。
ええ、殺すわ。女王感染者の死体が作戦の鍵なの。あなたはここから遠く離れた東京の地での醜い政治的勢力争いの具になるのよ。そして鬼ヶ淵村の伝説のピリオドとなる。
私をどういう殺し方にするか高野の考えそうなことが分かったわ。
あら、わかるの？言ってみて。
I'm not going to say it, but I know. It's Watanagashi. She wants to do the real Watanagashi using my body. I'm sure she's planning to cut open my stomach and pull out my guts. To do that, she'll make me inhale some chemical to put me to sleep. I vaguely remember that part.
想像がついてるよね。じゃあおやすみなさい、リカちゃん。
One of the dogs approached me with a handkerchief, soaked in a chemical substance.
高野、待ちなさい。
みんな潔く死んだのに、あなたは命乞いなの？
違うわ。私を殺すなら眠らさずに殺しなさい。
Takano hadn't expected to hear that. Still, even though she was surprised, she nodded with a slight smile. Hanyu was also surprised to hear that. It would obviously be a terrible way to die.
いうつもり？楽に死ぬ気がないの？辛いわよ。生きたまま腹を裂かれるのは
忘れないためよ。
Yes. I'm doing this so I'll remember. I'm not going to forget about it.
あなたが私の腹を裂くのを私は魂に刻みつける。それを私は絶対に忘れない。
Based Rika, honestly.
あなたに再び会った時、あなたが敵であることを思い出すために。
God, I love Takano's best girl. Okay, sorry.
何を企んでるやら。でもあなたは他の子たちよりは少しは賢明みたいね。1秒でも長生きすれば悲鳴を上げるくらいのチャンスはあるかもしれないからね。でもそうはさせないわ。
They forced something other than a handkerchief over my mouth. It was a gag. With that in, I couldn't close my mouth, leading my saliva to start overflowing. Soon, another van arrived. More mountain dogs came out of it. They had probably come to get rid of the bodies. They grabbed the corpses of my friends and stuffed them into body bags. After that, they sprayed a bunch of water on the ground to clean up the blood. They asked Takano how many shots she fired, and she started looking around for the bullets. They were erasing all the evidence. By the time the night was over, there'd be no more proof left. They pulled my hands behind my back and bound them with handcuffs. My ankles were tied up too. They also tied my ankles and wrists together. My body was bent like a shrimp, and I was no longer able to walk. My mouth was covered, so I couldn't even talk. I couldn't move, talk, or express myself in any other way. They had taken away everything that made me human. Therefore, I wasn't human anymore. I was just a toy named Rika Faraday, a toy to give Takano joy. The car started moving. It seemed like we were going back to the way we came, but I didn't care anymore. As the time of my death approached, some of my forgotten memories came back to me. That's right. I was killed like this so many times. Every time I repeated my life, Takano got pleasure out of killing me. Somebody rubbed my head. Were they trying to comfort me? I shook my head to try and refuse. They laughed at me as I did so. Hanyu showed up. She couldn't hold back her devastated tears. When I saw Hanyu's painful tears, I was convinced. I was wrong. Hanyu is not just a bystander. She's just too scared to face reality because she can't stand the pain anymore. Hanyu wants a happy future too. But her hopes were betrayed countless times, and she was hurt far too much. For some reason, seeing her sorrowful expression calmed me down. Perhaps Hanyu was crying in my place.
いいのよ、羽生。私たち、あれだけ努力した。
Based.
精一杯頑張った。
Based.
もう一息で、運命を覆せそうな予感すらした。
Just one more life, boys.
それでも届かなかったなら仕方がないし。それにね、なんだか気持ちいいの。
I've never fought this hard in my life. I've never learned so many things. Because I can repeat my life endlessly, I've been taking each one for granted. But everyone else is taking their lives seriously. I wasn't learning anything because I wasn't doing that. But I finally understand. I learned something from this life, and I put all my effort into it. So, I'm sad that I didn't make it, but I feel satisfied just the same. It's a strange kind of satisfaction. I wonder how many of these memories I can keep. I get the sense that I'm going to lose my memory of this evening. If that's the case, I will lose my memory of seeing Takano's face. I finally found out that Takano is the mastermind. Am I going to repeat the same world again, not knowing the truth? She killed my friends if she were merely killing some bugs. I don't want to forget that. No matter how hard my death will be, I need to remember Takano's face.
羽生、私はくじけない。この記憶がたとえ引き継げなくてもいい。がむしゃらに生きていく。6月の狭い日々にしか生きられなくなり、最後には綿流しの日にしか生きていられない存在になってもいい。
Based.
それが私の生なら、精一杯生きて、きっと自分の人生を切り開く。
僕も忘れません。きっと覚えてて、もしリカが忘れていたら、きっと僕が教えますから。
Based.
羽生、あなたはやっぱり冷たい傍観者のふりをしていたのは悲しさに怯えていたからなんだよね。
僕もみんなと楽しく過ごす未来に行きたかったです。
Oh, Hanyu. Oh, hey Sugar, you came in just in time to watch everyone get game ended. Thank you for the hydrate. Morning. How you doing this fine morning? Hanyu started to cry like a baby. She's so stupid. She decided to abandon hope because she didn't want to deal with the sadness that she always felt on this night. But she ended up hurt and devastated anyway. Hanyu, are you happy that this world is ending just like you predicted? I decided not to ask her such an unpleasant question. The car stopped and two men pulled me out of the vehicle. We had returned to the Furide Shrine. There were several men waiting in front of the offertory box. Nearby there were countless sharp knives laid out on the ground. They're going to cut open my stomach with those tools and pull out my intestines. They took off all of my clothes. They left the gag inside my mouth and the handcuffs around my wrist. I wasn't embarrassed to be naked in front of them. Rather, I was just furious that Takano was getting joy out of doing this to me. Don't forget this humiliation. The pain I'm about to experience should be carved into my soul forever. I'm not going to forget this. Everyone worked together when we finally revealed who was behind it all. If I forget this, my friends' efforts and deaths will have all been in vain. I need to stay alive as long as I can, so I will remember that pain.
羽生、目を背けないで。あなたも見ていなさい。
Ugh.
そして心に刻んで。
僕にはそのくらいの協力しかできないのでしょうか。触ることも喋ることもできない僕にはそんなことしかできないのでしょうか。
But only you can do it, Hanyu. That's the difference.
それで十分よ。あなたが目を背けないでいてくれたなら、私も多分痛みに耐えられると思うから。
Hanyu nodded and sat right next to me, while continuing to cry. We then looked up at the night sky together. The moon was shining brightly, as if taking pity upon me. We also looked at the faces of my murderers. That beautiful moon was gradually stained red. It's getting cold. It's so painful. Consumed with the fear of not being able to do anything about this. But Hanyu is right next to me. That gives me comfort. It's not just Hanyu either. Everyone is here with me. Everyone is there watching me so I can stand this torture. That's why it wasn't painful. I didn't struggle. I didn't care about Takano's crazy laughter. This was such a wonderful world. We didn't overcome this fate, but I have no regrets. Of course, I'm still sad. I'm disappointed. Sorry for the lag. No, you're good, Sugar. You're good. I was just saying, hope you're doing okay today. Yes, I'm still pretty sleepy, to be honest. So I'll be taking it easy today. Oh, understandable. Understandable. I probably should have taken it easy today and take a break day, but... I think we only have a little bit of the, chapter left anyway. Oh, thanks much. No problem. No problem. My future was right in front of my eyes. My hand could almost reach it. Even so, we did what we could. I have to be proud of myself. Keiichi voiced his disagreement. He still felt that we could have done more. We were almost there. We almost defeated this fate. We didn't win, but not because our enemies were strong. We didn't win because we didn't try hard enough.
でも、みんなは心を一つにして頑張っていましたのです。僕は見ていました。全部見ていましたのです。
いや、足りてなかったんだ。運命を打ち破ろうとする意志が全員で結束できていたなら、必ず奇跡は起こせたんだ。
そうなんだよ。全員が信じたなら必ず奇跡が起こせるんだよ。聡子もリカちゃまもみんなよく頑張りました。ごめんなさいですわ、リカ。あなたが打ち明ける勇気を見せてくれたのに、私はあなたを救えなかったですわ。
Well, I mean, you tried. Sotoko held my shoulder and cried.
そうよ。みんなで力を合わせたわ。それでダメなら仕方のないこと。ありがとう。本当にありがとう。多分、あまたの世界と同じ死を迎えるのに、こんなにも諦めがつく死は初めて。この死を代償に、私は本当に大切なことを学んだ。
リカちゃん、違うの。奇跡が起こらなかった理由。レナは知ってるよ。
Rena spoke gently, but she wasn't smiling at all.
ねえ、本当にみんな奇跡を起こそうと信じてた？未来を望むとき、全員が信じてなかったら奇跡は起こらないんだよ。
Uh-huh.
何言ってんだよ、レナ。俺たちは結束した。団結し、運命を打ち破れることを疑わなかったぞ。なあ、ミオン。
うん。そうだよ、レナ。誰も運命に勝てないなんて思わなかったよ。リカちゃんのこの運命を覆したいと思う誰もが絶対に運命を打ち破れると信じてたよ。
そうですわ。リカですらそれを信じましたのよ。最後の最後にリカは私たちを信じて運命を打ち破れると信じましたのよ。もちろんレナも信じたよ。でも
信じなかった人がいると思うの。
Oh, they're talking about Hanyu.
誰がです？
What? Who can it be?
ねえ、あなた。
Reina turned to Hanyu and asked her a question.
あなた、信じてた？
Oh.
運命に打ち勝てるって信じててくれた？
Oh.
触れることができなくても、喋ることができなくても、信じることはできるんだよ。あなたも信じてくれたなら、きっと奇跡が起きた。
Yeah.
僕が信じて何が変わったのでしょうか？
Of course.
僕は何もできない非力な存在なのです。
Well, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you find yourself to be a powerless existence, then you will be a powerless existence.
僕は見ていることしかできない。受け入れることしかできない。そんな僕が信じるだけで奇跡が起こせたというのですか？
ああ、起こせたな。
Keiichi stated it clearly. He wasn't trying to blame her, he was just stating the truth.
そうだね。あの時、こっちは6人だった。向こうは7人だった。あなたが信じてくれてたら、それだけで心は7つだった。
Uh-huh.
だったなら、きっと奇跡が起きた。奇跡はね、触れたり喋ったりで起こすんじゃないんだよ。信じる気持ちが起こすんだよ。
Hanyu had realized that this ending wasn't caused by fate. It was because she didn't believe. In other words, this happened because she was so weak as to accept this fate. She started crying again.
名前も知らないあなた。あなたにも悲しみや辛さと戦う勇気が必要だった。あなたも運命と戦う勇気が必要だった。
You can make sounds, Hanyu. Like, there's stuff you can do.
あなたが望んだなら、みんなが望む世界にきっと行けた。それが、あなただけが信じなかっただけでたどり着けなかったなら、それはあなたの責任なの。
It was hard to believe Reina could say something so harsh. Her words were piercing Hanyu's heart. But those words were necessary for me and her. Only faith can create a miracle. It sounds like something you might hear in a fairy tale. It's not easy to put it into action. People suspect others. They don't trust others. It's easier to not have hope. It's so difficult to believe. That's why faith can make miracles happen.
僕は触れないのですよ。喋れないのですよ。
As you've stated clearly.
そんな僕でも信じれば奇跡が起こったというのですか？
That's what we're saying.
だって今、こうしてレナとあなたは話しているよ。私はあなたと言葉を交わしたのはこれが初めてだけれど、いつもあなたがいるのを知っていた。あなたに言葉をどうすればかけられるか考えていたよ。私たちが楽しく遊んでいるとき、あなただけが
輪の外から眺めていたことを知っていたんだよ。だって輪の中に入りたくても僕は誰にも見えないし話しかけられないし、僕を見たらみんな化け物だと言いますです。僕はもう二度と化け物と言われたくないのです。
お、
誰が言うよそんなことを。
Based!
俺たちと一緒にいたなら俺たちは仲間だ。
Based!
そうですわよ。仲間のことを化け物呼ばわりなんて失礼しちゃいますわ。
Oh lord, this is wholesome.
化け物かどうかは容姿じゃなくて心で決まるんだよね、シオン。
そういうことです。
Oh, I'm not ready for this. Oh my
まあそ
god.
の見地から言えば私の方がよっぽど化け物ですよ。
頭に角が生えていても僕は化け物とは呼ばれないのでしょうか。身体的特徴で化け物なんて誰も呼ばないよ。むしろキュートなくらい。
True, true.
レナに気をつけろ。変に気に入られるとお持ち帰りされるぞ。
Bearman! Hello, Draftkey! Hello, hello. We are in a very sad moment right now. I realized then that I was standing with everyone, looking down at my own body. I see. I'm finally dead. I looked at my bloody body up by my feet. It upset me that Takano was still enjoying the torture, but the body that remained was nothing but a shell.
大丈夫かリカちゃん。
My...
死んだ人に大丈夫かとは変な話なのです。
True that. You got a license to be asking a dead person that. Everyone smiled wryly. It's my first time feeling so much love in death. Everyone is already dead. That's why I feel so happy to be dead, to join them. Suddenly the world got darker, and my body started to sink downward. Man. Oh, that is bad. I could feel myself disappearing. I still had the sensation of my friend's hands on mine.
行こうぜ。みんな。
そうだね。行こう行こう。あなたもみんなという言葉に含まれてるんだよ。ほら、いつまでも泣いてないで。行こう。
Aww. This is too wholesome. I can't do this anymore. I can't. This is way too wholesome. Hey, Ruben, how are you doing, man? I'm on the verge of crying. My vision had gone dark, but somehow I could still see. Reina offered her hand to Hanyu, and Hanyu slowly took it. And it's for the most tragic and bittersweet ending, but where Okidoki, Germa's sus face is not here right now.
羽生、あなたが私と出会う前にどんな悲しいことがあったか知らないけど、
Ending's beautiful, man.
みんなは絶対にあなたを受け入れてくれるわ。
Oh, oh no.
僕がいても楽しいでしょうか。
I remember being shocked with how cruel this ending was. They fought so hard and still lost. Yeah. I could kind of... Listen, I could still see it coming because it's Higurashi and nothing ever ends well, but... maybe... I'm holding out on that copium that we'll get a good ending in the 8th chapter. Rika's best friend Germa Nogi is messing for the picture.
僕はみんなに受 受け入れてもらえるのでしょうか。
Yes.
だからおいで。
Bro, who would look at Hanyu and be like, oh my god, she's a monster just because she has horns? I'd be like, that's adorable. Pat pat. Reina touched Hanyu's hand. It felt like everyone else laid their hands on top, too. If only they had hands to do so. Let's go, Hanyu. Let's accept this sorrow, so we can embrace joy as well. Believe in the bright future that's waiting for us. The miracle will happen. We will obtain it. Okay? Yes. Hanyu said with a definite nod. Yeah, I should have expected it, but all the buildup of them learning of their past experiences and uniting together, trusting each other after so many worlds of not doing so gave me hope. You got gaslit, man. They gaslit you. You weren't paranoid enough. You fell for their trap. What's outside of the well? Is it something worth fighting for? What's outside of the well? Is it something worth getting hurt for? What's outside of the well? I'm going to fight and get hurt in order to find that out. I'm sure what's waiting is a beautiful world, even if I get to the bottom of the well again. The key to the new world is my willingness to get out of here. Even if I can get out or not, I will eventually get to the new world. I wasn't paranoid enough. You weren't paranoid enough. Oh man, that is one. Oh, why is it Japanese? That is one of the most sad endings I have ever seen. GG. I forgot the most important element of Higurashi, which was paranoid. Oh man. Shout out to all of these people. I can't read anything that they did, but shout out to them, bro. Jesus Christ, that was beautiful. That's definitely one of my more favorite chapters, I'll say. I think I still like chapter 5 and 6, like they're still like I can't decide between which one of those two is my favorite, but this one is up there. If you're not paranoid, you're not Hinamisawa. True. And there's the Higurashi crying, man. Those Higurashi do not stop crying, though. Oh my god. I'm curious about where you guys hold this chapter in your rankings. Because I've got this probably in like 3rd place, I want to say, out of the chapters I've read. Damn, they do be crying. When the Higurashi cry. Just like my face when the Higurashi cry, and it's the skull face guy from the Modern Warfare 2. Oh god, they be crying, bro. Oh god. And there's the title card. Higurashi when they cry Kai. God dang. The Higurashi need to stop crying. They gonna make me cry. They always ask when the Higurashi cry, but they never ask why the Higurashi cry. Sorry. Emergency Manual 1. If the existence of a terminal patient, L5, is confirmed, the Institute Director must resolve the situation before the L5 begins engaging in antisocial behavior. However, they must ensure that the secret remains hidden. To that end, the Director may also request assistance from the Secrecy Preservation Unit. As for the Secrecy Preservation Unit, they may request permission to fire from the Institute Director if necessary. All efforts should be made to secure the L5 subject is alive, but if that proves obstructive to maintaining secrecy, their life may be forfeit. At all times, maintaining secrecy and preventing exposure will be of the highest priority. However, preserving secrecy will take priority over preventing exposure. Emergency Manual Appendix 9, FAQ. Question. Can Emergency Manual 34 be administered if an outbreak of L5 occurs, putting matters beyond the control of the Secrecy Preservation Unit? Whoa, what was that guy crying? He must be Stage 5. Get him! Get him! Get him! What if the Higurashi have been the main bad guys the whole time? The Higurashi, they're like they control the minds of the citizens with their cries. There's a theory for you. Additionally, is the Institute Director responsible for determining what constitutes an out-of-control situation? A. Yes. Question. If an accident occurs in a hazardous material, the H170 series, is exposed to the public, can Emergency Manual 34 be administered? I rate this one very highly in all the answer arcs. Oh, nice. Yeah, answer. Yes. If an accident has occurred and the nature of the Institute is revealed to the public, the Secrecy Preservation Unit will take steps to resolve the situation. However, if this information is spread too widely, can Emergency Manual 34 still be administered? Additionally, is the Institute Director responsible for making that decision? Answer. Yes. Question. The decision to execute Emergency Manual 34 must be carefully deliberated over and sanctioned by an official. However, in the case of emergency, does the Institute Director have the right to make the final decision? Answer. The execution of Emergency Manual 34 must be sanctioned by an official at all times. However, the Institute Director may petition the urgency of its use to an official. Emergency Manual 34. Reproduction or removal of this document is prohibited. Well, boys, we're going to jail. This manual may only be read with the appropriate permissions. This manual will only apply upon approval by the highest authority. Nothing short of official authorization shall count as approval. Furthermore, those authorized to apply this manual must take their decision as soon as possible when it is required. If the situation threatens to spiral out of control and the official accedes that this is the case, the Erie Institute must make the final decision to preserve the secret and prevent its detection by others. The following is an outline of how to execute that final resolution. Terminate all patients above L2. Destroy all evidence inside the Institute. Conceal the fact that this manual was administered. The contents of this manual must be executed by the Institute Director within 48 hours of the incident. If the Director is not available, the Chief Officer must execute it in his place. The Institute Director may demand support from the Chief Officer in executing this manual. If this manual is expected to be executed, the Chief Officer may issue the preliminary orders. The final resolution must be executed in the following steps. Disguise the incident as a natural gas disaster and quarantine the area. The quarantine unit must disguise themselves as police officers and isolate the Hinamizawa region from the outside world. The official explanation must be that there is a gas disaster within the village. The equipment for the operation will be stored as a vacant lot, where Yagochi Kori used to be. The equipment must undergo routine maintenance. In the event of external breach of internal escape, if they do not respond to the notice of the gas disaster or orders to evacuate, use of firearms is authorized. Jesus Christ, dude. The approval to use firearms is given by the Chief of the Secrecy Preservation Unit to the Chief of the Traffic Blockade Unit. Shutting down communications. The Communication Sabotage Unit must ensure that all forms of communication, including radio, have been disabled inside the Hinamizawa area. They must take care not to fall under suspicion, and communications must be disrupted for a minimum amount of time. The facility belonging to the telephone company is inside of the traffic blockade, so any civilians inside may be shot and killed. Oh my god. The Chief of the Secrecy Preservation Unit may give permission to use lethal force to the Chief of the Communications Sabotage Unit. Assembling the infected carriers. The Secrecy Preservation Unit must assemble the infected populace in the Hinamizawa Regional Disaster Shelter. Refer to the enclosed documents for gathering procedures. Upon assembly, the unit must count the number of the infected and confirm that everyone is present. Be sure to not allow the infected to expose the true natures of the gas disaster. Additionally, the infected must not be allowed to bring any large personal belongings with them. However, they may take their valuables, including bank books and cash. Infected who refuse to assemble may be shot, but the chief of the secrecy preservation unit must carefully consider the decision to do so. Terminating the infected. Once they are assembled, the secrecy preservation unit must terminate all the infected. My rankings of the arcs would be... I was itching. 1, 3, 6, 7, 5, 4, 8. Oh wow, you really don't like 8. or is that like in reverse order? Oh boy. That doesn't make me excited to read 8. Before that point, care must be taken to ensure that they are not suspicious of the story of the gas disaster. Be sure that they are treated as humanely as possible. If any problems occur, the unit has approval to fire their weapons. Get hype! Alright. The chief of the secrecy preservation unit must make that decision. Bodies with gunshot wounds would not be placed together with those that have been poisoned. Concealment of the Institute. The Institute Concealment Unit must collect all the classified items referred to the 193 items in the appendix in the Institute in order to suppress the evidence. It's not that I don't like 8, it's just the weakest one. It's still good. Okay. Refer to the appendix for more detailed instructions. The research staff at the Institute must assist with this operation. This unit must exercise extreme caution, as they will be handling a number of toxic substances. Strict quarantine must be maintained of the concealment block. The airproof door must be welded shut, and the underground area must be flooded. The entrance to the area must be welded shut and concealed completely. Furthermore, the concealment block will be completely removed within 3 years. The Institute Concealment Unit must eliminate all civilians who would try to approach the Institute. The use of firearms is not permitted except in emergencies. The chief of the Secrecy Preservation Unit may give the order to fire. Searching the village. The Secrecy Preservation Unit must search the whole village for any survivors. Any person who was not present during the assembly must be found. Any survivors found after the termination of the infected may be shot immediately. However, if the survivor is willing to surrender, do not shoot and instead take them into the custody of the Secrecy Preservation Unit. The storytelling of all the others were just so strong that, of course, the ending and final resolution would not be as interesting. Oh, I see. The unit must then terminate the captive, using the same method as for the other infected. Post-mission transfer to General Forces. Transfer the job to the official disaster recovery team. Make sure not to arouse suspicion. Complete withdrawal. After the completion of all operations, the Secrecy Protection Unit will retreat from the Hinamizawa area. What's with all the shooting? you gotta ask the freaking mountain dogs for that, bro. They'd be like, if anyone even thinks about like looking into this, shoot them. If anyone like breathes in our general direction, shoot them. They must be careful not to be suspected by the disaster recovery team. Furthermore, the Institute will continue to secure the concealment block until complete removal is finished. The Queen and her carriers. It is assumed that the pathogen has the same characteristics as creatures such as ants. There is a queen of the carriers of the disease, just like there is a queen ant, and this position has been passed down the line of the Faraday family. This assumption is made based on the legends and ancient writings that have been passed down in the village. It is already confirmed that the carriers have a tendency to protect their queen. Additionally, the queen carrier can only survive within the boundary of the village. Probability of outbreak. Shoot first, ask questions later, then shoot after asking questions. Oh man. As ordinary patients will become ill when they travel far away from the queen, it's assumed that the further and longer they are away from her, the higher the chance of symptoms occurring becomes. Also, mental state plays a strong factor as well. and it's estimated that those who are especially emotionally unstable or show strong yearning for their home are more likely to exhibit symptoms. It is believed that the Takano relaxation method is the most effective means of suppressing symptoms, but if the patient still shows no improvement, only returning them to their home and the queen will be effective. I rank the first arc highly because, of course, it's the first impression of the story, and is the one that gets you interested in the rest of the story. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I still probably like chapter 5 or 6 more, but I get where you're coming from. Concerning terminal patients. Terminal patients, as they suffer from an extreme persecution complex, are incapable of functioning within society. Cases of arson and murder have been confirmed. They may present severe problems for their units. Records show that terminal patients appear even in Hinamizawa, and they will not recover even if relocated nearer the queen. By the queen. Therefore, the decision to dispose of the problem must be made as soon as possible. It's recommended that the infected be quarantined before they start behaving irregularly. We suggest tracking down those formerly from Hinamizawa and placing them under special medical observation. The collapse of the carrier community. For the aforementioned reasons, we predict that should the queen carrier die, infected villagers will exhibit terminal symptoms on a village-wide scale. Terminal symptoms will begin showing within 24 hours at the earliest and 48 at the latest. Tatari Goshi, the question arc focused on Toko, was the most emotionally drawing one, but so good writing-wise. Yeah. At first, I didn't like it, but I think I've grown to, I say I didn't really like it, but what I mean is, like, it was one of the weaker ones for me, but I think it's grown on me when I think back on it. For that reason, the final decision must be made within 48 hours. The way you said the queen had me imagining the crocodile hunters saying Rika like some endangered species. Boy, there's the queen, mate. Based on the size of the village, neither ordinary officers nor the military police may be able to control the chaos they may bring. We believe the best response is to treat them as an armed anti-national uprising, and immediately suppress them with the military. January 1945. To Colonel Koizumi of the Supreme Council for the Direction of War. From Hifumi Takano. June 23rd, 1983. To be fair, Rika is indeed an endangered species. True. She's literally the only Faraday family member alive. Document E420 for the 58th Defense Commissioner. And TACOM 733 Commander. TACOM 733 is hereby ordered to be on standby within 24 hours, armed for urban suppression. The company commander must also thoroughly study Emergency Manual 34. Select personnel carefully with the preservation of secrecy in mind. Additionally, test the effectiveness of the vaccine with the support of the National Research Center of Infectious Diseases. Employ those with positive immunity. June 23, 1983. Document E711 for the 58th Director of the NIHS. Attention Equipment Testing Company, Commander 733. The National Research Center of Infectious Diseases. Infectious Pathogen Department, Suit 13. Official seal omitted. About the Hinamizawa Syndrome. This is information regarding the Hinamizawa Syndrome. God, they are expositioning the fuck out of us. Good lord. Crikey, we got a rare Faraday clan member grazing in the wild. I'm gonna poke it with a stick. Oh, there you go. Oh, she's reacting. Back up, boys, back up. She's a wild one. The Hinamizawa Syndrome is an infectious disease caused by a virus. There are no initial symptoms. Instead, their onset begins when the patient's emotional state becomes unstable, or if the queen carrier dies. The main symptoms of the illness are hallucinations and emotional instability, paired with an extreme persecution complex. Furthermore, patients are frequently unaware of their own mental abnormalities, making identification outside examination nearly impossible. The only way to do so is by observing symptoms indicative of terminal abnormal behavior. In many cases, patients engage in antisocial behavior, which is the largest issue created by the syndrome. This behavior is caused by hormonal factors, as this disease mainly affects the mind as opposed to the body. In the end, the patients will experience extreme irritation in their lymph nodes, and they will claw at their throats or wrist. This is the only symptom that is recognized by the patient. Important points regarding the sterilization operation. This is an advisory notice for virus control. The pathogen is an airborne infectious virus. Therefore, no effective preventive methods exist, and inoculation is required. After the mission is completed, all staff members must take a medical exam, and those with positive test results must come forward. Be cautious when interacting with the villagers. I prefer Sumi Horoboshi and Minogoroshi to Miyakashi, because Reina is a more sympathetic character to Shion, and the gang coming together is more fun to read. That's fair. I think I liked Chapter 5 more for, like, how neat the idea was to, like, do kind of the same chapter, but it's very different in the fact that you're getting a different perspective. I thought that was really neat, and just reading, like, the mental downward spiral of Shion was neat to see, but I do agree that I think Reina as a character is more interesting. Even after inoculation, any contact with their bodily fluids will cause infection. Do not come into direct contact with them. If assumed infected, individuals must use the testing syringe and test themselves for the disease. If you feel an extreme irritation in your lymph nodes, it's likely you have terminal symptoms. In that case, you must get tested immediately. If test results come out positive, inject the treatment medication C120. If the irritation persists after 10 minutes, use a second injection. If there is still no change in symptoms, seek treatment at HQ. Do not use C120 if your test results are not positive. If used on a healthy body, symptoms of a high fever, rashes and dilated pupils, and hallucination will be observable within 10 minutes. If this occurs, one must seek treatment at HQ. Government officials explained the entire situation in a luxurious meeting room, adorned with a marble table and crystal ashtrays. The chief cabinet secretary was in a panic. He'd never heard about any of this before. Feelings of panic were only natural. One girl's death was going to drive 2,000 villagers into a frenzy. Hearing that a disease like that exists was surprising enough. But on top of that, it was secretly researched for military use. And now there was a horrific situation caused by the director of the local research institute engaging in embezzlement. Not to say Shion is a complex character with no sympathy for me, because, good god, the circumstances born in was pretty brutal. But Reina was still just more sympathetic character. They all get sympathy from me, though. No, I get it. I agree with you about liking Reina more than Shion, and her being more relatable.
そんな危険な病気、初めて聞いたよ。本当に治療の手段はないのか？
はい。国立研究所の説明では、重度感染者の発症に対する治療法は確立したばかりで、全住民への対応は事実上不可能とのことです。最短で24時間以内、長くとも48時間以内に山荘の人口2000人が全て末期発症するとのことです。
But let's be real. Let's be real for a second. The best girl truly is the queen. The queen Takano. I'm sorry. I know she's evil. I know she's evil, man. Okay, let me just keep going. I'm gonna get myself in trouble if I keep talking.
甚大な被害と影響が予想されます。
The danger of this Hinamizawa syndrome was explained over and over again to the chief secretary. He didn't have anything more to say. But that didn't mean he could blindly accept it either. He simply couldn't believe that the only way to resolve the situation was to kill all 2,000 infected villagers, That's a based opinion. I can't fault you, not gonna lie. Takano had me when I first started Higurashi. Like, I'm not saying that I want her to step on. Just keep reading, Mochi.
そりゃ大変なことになるのはわかるけど、そんなの許可できるわけないだろう。そもそもなんでこんな危険な病気を隠蔽して研究なんかしてたんだ。そもそもそういう事態を招いたのはその関係の連中の責任じゃないのかね。第一、こんな危険な研究は今や日本の国益に貢献しないどころか損ないかねんぞ。どうして昭和の58年までこんな馬鹿げた研究をしていたんだ。報告書によれば研究目的のために撲滅を意図的に遅らせていたそうじゃないか。しかも汚職をめぐるトラブルの果てにこんな事態だ。
Dang, the whole world really blaming Erie, huh?
これはテロだよ、テロ。東京の老害だ。こんな研究を指示していた人間には全員責任を取ってもらうぞ。いつまでも大戦の亡霊に取りつかれている連中を追放したまえ。これは東京の海を出すいい機会じゃないのかね。
責任者の追及は必ず行いますが、それより前に対応を考えなければなりません。
A man standing by the window slowly turned around and opened his mouth.
総理、ご決断を。
滅菌作戦を承認しない場合のシミュレートを聞かせてください。
はい。今から36時間後には村人のほぼ10割が末期発症。末期的な被害妄想に取りつかれ、反社会的な行為を行います。想定されるのは自殺、殺人。
Could it stop? Stop! 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 Oh my god, wait, I just read that line, good lord.
治安の完全なる崩壊です。
We need Miss Heed to save us. Takano's seducing us. Miss Heed. Okay, alright. Okay. Alright. We're good now.
騒動はおそらくひなみ沢地区のみでなく周辺地区へも波及します。結果、世界規模での注目を浴びることになるでしょう。民間の独自調査の結果、奇病が原因であることが発覚するのは食い止められません。野党は奇病の対応の不手際を政争の具に、次期選挙を有利に運ぶでしょう。また東京内でも総理の対応に批判が高まるでしょう。
Protect the hatchet-wielding girl at all costs. True. All the kids must be protected. Can't let the queen, mommy, Takano. We can't let her get the best of us. Sorry.
彼らの指示は総理の列島改造に欠かせません。そして何よりも軍事目的での研究が政府内部から暴かれる可能性があります。これだけは断固阻止しなくては我が国に致命的信用ダメージを与えかねません。
逆に滅菌作戦を承認した場合はどうなりますか。
はい、自然災害を装いますので、やはり対応の不手際の野党追及は避けられません。ただし奇病研究について発覚することはないでしょう。もし万が一奇病の軍事的研究が世界に発覚したら、我が国はアジア地域でのイニシアチブを完全に喪失します。
他国の援助を受ける政党は一大キャンペーンを張るな、売国どめ。
そうなれば野党の政権奪取は必至だよ。日本は宣戦布告なくして占領されるぞ。
シミュレートの結果では第2党第3党が連立した場合、与野党の勢力は完全に反転します。
Sorry if I'm quiet during this, I just don't have a lot to add to this scene, to be honest.
国際世論は我が国を一斉に非難。国連に対し NBC 兵器開発疑惑の査察を要求するでしょう。近隣国は政府主導でバッシングキャンペーンを展開。高支持率を背景に対日外交を強硬路線に転換します。我が国は政治的焦土と化すでしょ
う。国際信用はペンペン草一本残らんということかね。くさ。つまりひなみ沢地区と周辺自治体の数十万人だけの問題では済まんということだな。しかし全てを闇に葬るための犠牲が2000人とは多すぎる。
日本国内において生物兵器研究が行われていたことが露呈することだけは避けなければなりません。
私はどうやら大戦の亡霊の尻を拭く羽目になりそうですね。
滅菌作戦は計画通りに隠密で実行できるのかね。滅菌作戦が発覚すれば奇病研究以上の大スキャンダルになるぞ。
Regarding the exposition, on one hand, it's great that Ryukishi put so much effort in establishing the history and the politics of the world, but damn, does the writing track sometimes. Just a little. That's not too bad. I find it more just interesting to read. It's just, my thing is just, I just don't have a lot to add to it.
それにつきましては、自衛隊内の機密保持に特化した専門部隊が当たります。
It's good for world building, I will say that.
このような事態を想定し、研究と訓練を重ねた部隊です。
I will say the man is a master at world building. True. From what I've read so far, I could definitely agree with that.
万一の失敗はありえません。
都市沈黙船という言葉は初めて聞きましたが、これはガスによる虐殺のことですね。自衛隊にガス船を習熟した部隊があったとは驚きました。
ガス防護を知るにはガス船を知らなければなりません。ガス虐殺に備えるにはガス虐殺を知らねばなりません。装備実験隊は日本国が受ける可能性のあるすべての攻撃に対し日夜研究を重ねています。
He let out a small sigh. He couldn't see the line between ethical and unethical. Can any research be justified by the excuse of preparing against hostilities? That's also what preparation was all about. Some evils must be accepted as necessary. The Erie Institute was one such evil.
明かせぬ研究を葬るために明かせぬ方法を取るか。罪悪感の伴う任務だが、隊員から事実が漏れ出すことはないのかね。
ありえません。隊員は第一空挺から精鋭を選抜し、さらに高い忠誠心を持つ者のみで構成しております。実戦はこれが初めてになりますが、練度は極めて高く、内部の機密保持も問題ありません。
Something I really like about Higurashi is the artistic decision to have the Higurashi crying in the background almost like 80% of the time. It's obviously not present during every scene. But in a lot of the scenes, they are present, they're crying, even though it's like in a room where that shouldn't really happen, or if it's in a place where it doesn't make sense, because it's like the Higurashi represent us, the audience, that are also watching and also crying in a way. Or that could just be me overanalyzing and thinking I'm a big head genius when I'm not, but that's the way I see it. Also, welcome back, Golden. So I think that's neat, is what I was trying to say, and all that. I honestly got so used to it I don't even notice it anymore. Exactly.
まさに暗殺の専門部隊ですね。
総理、どうか緊急マニュアル第34号の執行にご決裁をお願いいたします。
I didn't expect politics to be important. Oh yeah. Politics is always a fun topic. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm like just chilling at like some place, or if I'm like at a party or something, and or if I'm like just chilling, like talking with like some of my IRL friends, and somebody immediately brings up politics, I just turn off my brain, because I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, man. This is not something I want to be talking about right now. Same. Oh, Lord.
防衛庁長官。
I'm glad I'm not alone.
この作戦は必ず成功しますか？事件が大騒ぎになる前に食い止められますか？
My eyes and brain goes far into the distance.
いえ、犠牲者を最小限に抑えられますか？
はい、総理。すでに予備命令を発し、作戦準備に入っております。
He's talking about politics. He's got Hinamizawa syndrome. Get him! Get him! Get him!
ご決裁がいただければ、直ちに出動して作戦に入ります。
私には人口2000人を虐殺する命令など下せません。
Or could you?
ですが、
I'm kidding.
内閣総理大臣として犠牲者を最小に抑える義務もあります。
I could have made a really messed up joke there, but I feel like it would have gotten clipped, and I would have been posted all over Twitter. The Mochi's over party, but I didn't make the joke, so I have restraint.
要注をお察しします。
長官、どうか犠牲者が一番少なくて済む方法を選択してください。2000人がどうしても治療できないなら、不必要な犠牲者が出ないよう迅速な対応をお願いいたします。
Oh wait, I didn't give Sugar that really good shout out. Hold on, I gotta do that real quick. Let's not talk about Giraffe Town. What did Giraffe do? Guys, if you haven't already, please go drop Sugar a follow. Very good friend of mine, very lovely VTuber. Always love to chill and lurk in her streams when I can. I really need to get better about like actually talking to my friends' streams, but I just like, it's usually like when I'm like in my anti-social mode, or if I'm like just after got done streaming and I just don't feel like talking. But I always do try to lurk when I can, at the very least.
はい。ご決裁を感謝いたします。
That just makes me want to talk about Giraffe Town more. It's totally fun. For a while, I was also like dead for a bit, and just recently got more energy to talk. It's rough, honestly. The thing that helps the most is people understanding that we all kind of have times like that. But like, dude, it's rough. I looked at the thumbnail. Let's not talk about Giraffe Town.
必ずや朗報をお持ちいたします。
How fitting that Higurashi is a stream that makes you reconsider talking to your friends more. True.
2000人の犠牲が朗報と呼べるならですがね。
In what universe is that a positive result?
奥野くん、東京の皆さんに近日中にお会いできる席を設けてください。今回の件について釈明を直接聞かせていただきたいと思います。
わかりました。
ところで、その問題の研究所長の入江氏は逮捕しましたか？
いえ、服毒自殺とのことです。
Makes sense.
研究の終了が 自身の人生を否定されたものと悲観しての発作的犯行と思われていますが、何が目的だったやら。
彼を狂気に駆り立てた理由は永遠に闇の中ということですか。
God, they blaming the man beyond the grave. The execution of Emergency Manual 34 is approved. June 23rd, 1983. Prime Minister XXXX. Director General of the Defense Agency XXXX. God dang, man. Oh, we're still going. Oh, no. I don't. A commercial break happened. So sorry for missing anything. I don't think you did. But yeah, that game is cursed, and I sort of hate it. But I spent a long time there, so I'll finish it.
手荷物は禁じます。繰り返します。手荷物は禁じます。現金通帳印鑑の類だけを携帯してください。混乱防止のため車両避難は禁じています。
It was the middle of the night, and yet countless villagers were out and about. You guys know what my favorite... I don't think there's a clip of it on the channel, but my favorite reaction to this game was after the end of Chapter 1, and I saw Keiichi and Mion where I literally pointed at my computer. You're dead. How are you here? That's probably my favorite moment. Like absolute like confusion as to why Keiichi was alive. Some of them were locking their doors, some of them were watering their plants, and some of them were piling up food in their dogs' dinner bowls. Small children were crying in fear. Members of the town council were yelling angrily while counting up the villagers. Reportedly, the village had been cut off from the rest of the world after volcanic gas rushed outside of the mountains. The number of policemen and military units in the village added to the strong smell of sulfur in the air, dispelled any doubts the villagers might have had. The more religious among the elderly were convinced that this was the curse of Rika Furaday, who had passed away the day before. They were certain that Oyashiro-sama was enraged, and that the door to hell had been opened. Soldiers wearing gas masks guided the villagers to the evacuation center.
なんで兵隊さんは災害なのに鉄砲を持ってきとるんじゃ。
皆さんが避難した後の家屋を守るためです。また災害に便乗して商店を襲撃するボートに対してです。
Oh man, the track is beautiful. Most of the OST after the questions arc and the answers arc is really good.
南沢にそんな輩はおらんのじゃ。
第一小隊避難誘導順調。了解。一個分隊を応援に向かわせます。
兵隊さん、じいさまの位牌を持ってんじゃならんがね。
位牌は構いません。急いでください。町会の方は天候を怠らないように。歩行困難な方は申し出てください。隊員が補助します。
おお、リカちゃまが殺されたからお社様がお怒りになったのじゃ。
お社様、お社様、お社様、どうか怒りをお鎮めください。防災訓練通りに避難しちゃり。班長は天候終わったら町会役員に連絡せんかいで。
鬼が淵から正気が溢れ出したね。お社様はお怒りだね。
こんなに大勢いるんじゃん。助かる方法なんかなかとよ。
Yeah, I heard that the answer arcs are where the budget was raised so that Ryukishi was able to hire someone to do the actual music for the story. Oh, okay. That actually makes a lot more sense then.
村で死なせてくれな。
大丈夫です。輸送ヘリとボーガス仕様のバスが回されます。必ず助かりますから。
みんなエリン署へ集まれ。4丁目は違うだろう。郵便局裏の公民館だぞ。
皆さん、防災訓練と同じです。
Up until then, since it was mostly just an underground homemade thing, the music was just copyright-free music. That's based. That's based, honestly. Ryukishi really went hand in chin and got some, like, royalty-free music from YouTube. That's based.
落ち着いて災害時避難場所に集合してください
Can't even fault the man for it, bro.
団体行動をお願いします一人の乱れが全体の足を引きますどうか団体行動を家には必ず戻れます
The villagers couldn't see the expressions under the soldier's gas mask. They wondered what kind of expressions they were hiding under there. The soldiers were, of course, lying to the villagers, knowing that they would never return to their homes again. Not gonna lie, I find the OG Ryukishi characters really appealing. It's quite the inspiration. Indeed, look how far he's come. Well, it's quite the inspiration. It really is, man. And yeah, some of the OG sprites, okay. I'll be the first to admit that some of the OG sprites are kind of rough. But like some of them, like Hanyu's, are genuinely really well drawn. I will say that much, in my opinion at least. One such trooper cried under his mask, but the villagers never saw his tears. And you've got to think, like, I imagine that, like, he came up with the character designs by himself and actually drew them. But he's, like, mainly a writer. Not a lot of people can write a story while also, like, drawing their characters and designing them from scratch. They can think of character designs, but most of them can't actually draw the characters that well that they're thinking of. So you've got to pay respect to that, in my opinion at least. That he did that and wrote the entire story. Wait, what? One such trooper cried under his mask, but the villagers never saw his tears. Aww.
車両での避難は禁止されています。この先はガス流で寸断されており危険です。あんたにも硫黄の匂いがわかるでしょう。
Some people tried to leave in their cars so as to take large items with them. However, the quarantine unit had sealed off all roads leading outside. The gas mask of the troopers and the smell of the sulfur persuaded them to return and obey their instructions. Some of them tried to contact Okinomiya, but their phones would not connect. The lines were busy no matter how much they tried. They simply assumed that the phone lines were overwhelmed because of the disaster. Some of the villagers had access to radios. They tried to figure out what the situation was like outside, but all they could hear over the radio was loud static. Ryukishi gets better with his art. With his other works, it's still the same art design, but it's still improved. Nice. It was the same with television. I hope he still draws to this day, because he definitely had, like, potential. They couldn't contact anyone outside the village, so they really were totally isolated. And so, they had nothing to rely on but the instructions of the police and the military. They were all like moths heading towards a light, never doubting that they would be safe there. One old war veteran listened to the noise from the radio and muttered. Looking at Sasonio is quite the difference. I think he does. I mean, I believe Sasonio is still ongoing. Oh, really? I did not know that. As it turned out, he was absolutely correct. However, he turned off the radio with his son when his son urged him to evacuate. The villagers had all oh dude, don't go to this classroom. Oh my god, that's making me sad. The empty classroom, dude. Oh my god. Getting someone else to do his coloring vastly improved his art. Oh, so he doesn't color them? Or he doesn't color them anymore, I assume. The villagers had all gathered at their evacuation points. Damn, this is depressing. I hate this. Oh, man. That's fair. I still drawing, like, the outline of the character and, like, all the detail that he wants the character to have. I think it's still, like, a lot of the work. Coloring can be secondary, in my opinion. As long as you've actually, like, drawn the character, then I think you've done a lot. Some of them were at the school, and some were at the community center. They were to stay in the building until the evacuation vehicles arrived. The soldiers told them to stay inside so they could keep track of the number of evacuees.
万一のガス流に備えて窓はすべて閉めてください。念のため窓ガラスはテープで目張りします。申し訳ございませんがご協力をお願いいたします。
よし来た。若いのは率先して手伝え。
People started to seal up all the windows and vents with the duct tape that was handed to them. They completely sealed every opening as they heard the disquieting conversation of the soldiers. It was long past 3 a.m., but everyone was wide awake with fear. They were having an extremely long night. Coincidentally, the end of their night had almost arrived.
全部お社様のたたりなんしゃ。リカちゃま、リカちゃま、お社様、お社様。
I heard Sasonia is on hold for Ryukishi's work on the new Silent Hill. That's wild that he got contracted to write for Silent Hill. Just like mainly a visual novel writer working for like an actual like game. That's interesting to me. I don't know.
やっぱりフルテ神社の鬼隠しはお社様のお怒りの騒ぎぶれだったんだ。
What's making me sad is that it's mostly old people. And I feel like old people get taken advantage of really easily. And I hate it.
あの日、フルテ神社は鬼の国に飲み込まれたんよ。リカちゃまは鬼たちに腹渡を食らわれたんじゃ。
They all started saying that the gas disaster was caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama, and Rika's death and the mysterious disappearance of her friends, and the two detectives were also the result of the curse. People started talking about being demoned away. They had no idea that Keiichi and his friends' short battles sealed their fate for that night. The more religious villagers had become convinced that the children and the detectives went missing, because they volunteered to become a sacrifice to calm Oyashiro-sama's anger after Rika's death. They didn't know the truth. They couldn't know. Not one realized that Keiichi and his friends' efforts had all been in vain. Yeah, it's such a vast difference in mediums, but I believe in Ryukishi's capabilities as a strong storyteller. It all depends on how much control he's given. Yeah. Indeed. In Hinamizawa, everything that happens in the will of Oyashiro-sama. So Ryukishi is like obviously like Japanese, right? I just want to make that clear. Like he is Japanese, right? I'm not wrong on that. Damn you talking to you sexy evil lady. Damn you talking to mommy. Sorry, mommy's queen. Sorry. He is Japanese. I figured. But why did it have to be that way? Before the series of mysterious deaths occurred, no one really used the term the curse of Oyashiro-sama that frequently. In other words, who set them up? People in this village were set up to believe that the curse of Oyashiro-sama happens every year. They really are just too superstitious.
サンサ、全小隊が点呼を終了しました。遅れていた自主避難者もさっき最後の家族が合流したようです。
Oh, show us Takano. Takano will cheer me up.
全員揃いました。
Oh,
そう。
Sorry.
いよいよね。お社様のたたりが現実となる。
All is forgiven.
お社様の生まれ変わりであるフルで以下を綿流しにするという冒涜によって、お社様の怒りが村に下される。
This shows that Hinamizawa is just as much a victim as our main cast. Yeah.
それで、この5年間の連続したたたりは、本当の神罰に昇格される。もう誰にも事件なんて呼ばせない。これは荒ぶる神の怒りなのだから。
I hope that this chapter ends like freaking Giorno versus Diavolo, where like Hanyu shows up behind Takano is like Requiem. Duh. And it rewinds. Chapter 8 starts. The Takano drip. What's this tingly feeling? Oh man, oh man, oh man. Not again, not again.
中隊長より全隊員へ彼らのために1分間の黙祷を捧げようサンサ1分だけご許可を
She goes, no. She does the talking Ben. No.
Oh,
okay. Forgive me, Rika. She's too damn hard. For real, bro. Oh, God. Takano gave him a disparaging laugh. The company commander crossed his heart and began to speak. She starts like yelling over them. F you, random SDF member, you don't get to feel regretful. The company commander isn't Christian. In fact, he doesn't follow any religion. However, he prayed because he felt that he needed to ask someone for forgiveness. If you wanted forgiveness, you shouldn't have participated in the first place. He wasn't even sure if he was saying it correctly, but he still prayed to God. I just learned Takano VA also voices best teacher Taiga from Fate. I don't know what that is, but I'll agree with you. He asked forgiveness for committing his sin and continued to pray. Wait, is it, wait, let me think. Is it Fate Stay Night? I've not read that yet. If you're talking about Fate Stay Night. Higurashi really has a theme of forgiveness and atoning for sins. Yes? Okay, alright. Takano was speaking in a soft voice. She was talking to herself.
神がいつ降臨されるのかは誰も知らない。それは例えるなら、泥棒がいつ訪れるのかわからないように。だから予期せずしてその時を迎えて、不信心であったことに歯ぎしりすることがないよう、常に目を覚ましていなさい。エセ預言者たちは、神の降臨を声高に叫ぶであろうが、それに惑わされてはなりませんか。
Takano, I have no idea what you just said, because I was busy staring at your eyes. That's a compliment. One man heard her murmurs. She's also Android from 8 Dragon Ball? I honest to God hope that's true. And you're not just memeing.
そうなの？祖父の好きだった言葉よ。報われる日がいつ訪れるかわからないから、常に勤勉であれって言葉だと思っていたけど。
And apparently Harley Quinn from the Japanese dub of Batman. I could see that. I could see that. I could see that.
今日が報われる日なのですか？
そうよ。あなたにはわからないでしょうけどね。
If I was one of the people in those vans and this was like my boss, talking was my boss, I'd be sipping on my coffee and just typing away at the computer like, I don't get paid enough.
失礼ながら、主の降臨は慈悲深いものであるべきだと信じています。このような日にそれを例えられることは冒涜かと思います。
Her eyes? I was simply hypnotized by her sultry or at least seductive voice. It's both, it's both. Also, is he like trying to backtalk his boss? I don't think you're being appropriate. Boy, you just helped us kill 2,000 people. Don't you try to freaking virtue sign me. He was trying to tell her that the verse of the Bible was inappropriate for the occasion. However, Takano simply laughed as though she heard something very funny. Takano just goes, "Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut."
ごめんなさいね。あなたは神に試されなさい。
Ruthless girl boss.
私は今日を境に試す側となるのよ。
I'm just imagining after this line, like, tonight is the night where I become a god. She has like the emoji where like the hand is like painting the fingernails. BRB gonna pray to Takano.
以上で黙祷を終了する。
Bro, that was not a silent moment. And at the end of the silence,
全小隊、滅菌を開始せよ。
the order was given in as hollow and reluctant a manner as an order can possibly be. Now my... Oh.
私の理想はすべて完成した。文字通りの理想郷がここにはある。ここでは私は神で、私のたたりは永遠に刻まれ、語り継がれるのだ。
Yas, queen! People were packed into the classroom. They were afraid. The troopers closed the doors of the classroom. The people inside had no idea why they were doing that. Takano, you're hot, but also F you. However, they didn't suspect anything at all. One old man walked up to the door to open it, because with it closed it was far too hot inside the room, but he collapsed all of a sudden. His wife tried to walk over to help him up, but she also collapsed all of a sudden. Then, other people also started collapsing inside of the room. It really was a very odd sight. What would make for a good example? It would be pretty amusing if they were dominoes. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. However, they're human beings. People sitting by the window watched this strange event happen before their eyes. They opened their eyes wider to try and understand what was going on.
ダム戦争をきっかけに長き眠りからよみがえった荒ぶる神が不信心なる者を綿流しの聖夜の旅にたたりを下してゆく。その一年一年の積み重ねが神の復活、お社様の意向の復活、たたりを恐れるという原始的恐怖への回帰。
I can't help but feeling Takano is gonna meet such a miserable end in Chapter 8. Chapter 8 might still not be a happy ending, but I feel like Takano is just gonna get freaking owned. She's gonna be told that she's cringe, and she's gonna get pushed off a cliff or something. No, Chapter 8, Takano goes to Disneyland. In celebration. It turns out they can't rewind time anymore, and it just follows Takano being like, yeah, I totally own those losers. Takano's like that guy from Monster House. I don't know if you guys remember that scene, but that guy's like, I will be seeing you losers later. And he tries to walk away, he's like, ugh. He comes back, he's like, starts eating the guy's candy bars. That's chapter 8 in a nutshell. It's confirmed Takano is Kira, the god of the new world. Oh my god. Oh, you mean that guy from the arcade game machine? Yeah. Oh god. The door creaked open slightly and someone on the other side threw 3 spray canisters into the room. More people started to collapse, even those at the window. Bro, they gonna grill me on YouTube saying I'm not taking this scene seriously. I am, but just... Wait, I can't help. I gotta make jokes. It's how I cope. This wasn't something that was happening only in one room. It was happening in all the other rooms, too. It was happening in all the evacuation centers. I can imagine Takano doing that to the gang at an arcade. I can't. That's making me laugh too much. I can't. Dude, Monster House was such a good movie. It was happening in all the evacuation centers. People's dreams, their hopes, and their futures were taken away so quickly and easily.
そして誰もがお社様のたたりを疑わなくなり、完全に復活した我は古きムクロの腹を内より破りて、今こそこの世によみがえる。お社様の怒りに触れるとき、地獄の釜が開きて正気があふれ出し、人々は逃げることもかなわず、ことごとく生き絶えるなり。その最後の審判が、たたりが、こうして実現した。
Spit Queen. Takano doing the Dougie on their dead corpses. Now she's just Fortnite dancing on everyone. Nah, no, you know she's hitting the Quan, bro. She dead ass hitting the Quan. Like a situation like this, you gotta be hitting the Quan. There's a commotion in the reception room by the principal's office. Someone had figured out what was going on, broke the seal off the window, and escaped outside. Other people tried to remove the seal on their windows too, but they collapsed in a matter of seconds.
あなたは死んだら何が残る？身は腐り、焼かれ、骨は砕かれ砂になる。大地の肥やしになる以上の何が残せるの？
I gotta be honest though, her speech here is badass. I love these like religious villains, honestly. They're so interesting. Or like villains that like are on the extremes of religion, either super against it or super for it. I think they're very interesting.
4名が窓から脱出。発砲許可。撃て撃て撃て撃て撃て撃て。
Man said, God damn, man, that's sad. Okay, I can't joke. That's sad. Soldiers shot the people who tried to escape in the back. Villains with extreme religious overtones, yeah. The sounds of the gunshots echoed in the silence. It was a noise filled with cruelty. They helplessly fell down to the ground. Their deaths were so pitiful compared to the silent deaths of those before them. The residential police officer was one of the escapees. This hurt so cruel. It's like heart-wrenching, honestly. He tried to shoot back at them with his own gun. Takano didn't do this. Takano can't be this evil. Bro is on copium. Oh my god, draft key. Bro thinks he's in a nightmare. His shots could be heard throughout the building. The soldiers ducked into the shadows upon hearing the noise. The officer seized his chance and ran towards the gate, but that was just a waste of time. Not only is the range of the automatic weapons they were using longer than the length of the schoolyard, but as trained professionals, it would be nothing for them to shoot from that distance. Yeah, that's good. Just keep doing this. Bro said, ain't no way. The villagers had no choice. After they'd die from the gas without realizing what was happening. Or they'd find out about the mission and be killed.
どうした応答しろ
脱走者全員の逃亡阻止銃声は駐在警官が反撃したものです
I don't usually like to blame the soldiers in these situations, because I understand everyone has their own, like, situations going on, but, like, it's gotta be, like, a special kind of cruelty to, like, shoot people that you know are innocent. I don't care if you're being given orders or not. That's just... Like, I know there's situations, but it's just... That's just evil, man. Like, no matter how you look at it.
射殺体を回収しろ。
一般犠牲者と一緒にしないよう注意せよ
Like, not only are you contributing to it, you're directly contributing to it. Yeah, there's exceptions. There is no way this can be justified. Yeah, I'm not trying to do like a holier-than-thou spiel. I'm sure if most of us were in the situation, there's not a lot we could do, but like, it's just evil. The soldiers walked out to the 4 fallen bodies. They needed to make sure that they were all dead, not just injured.
私は残した。名を残した。偉業を残した。たたりを残した。私の存在は、この長く封鎖されるこの土地で神格化されるだろう。そして、近隣の町にて今日のたたりを逃れた者たちは、たたりを恐れ、その恐怖を人々に語り継ぐだろう。
I'll pray to Takano to get this stopped.
私を超越した存在へ昇華させるのだ。
We just gotta follow the religion of Takano and everything will be hunky-dory. Right? Right?
エイリン署の滅菌を終了。脱走者4名は射殺。
Right? Right.
第2小隊より本部作戦終了
Nah, if you pray to Takano, you're more likely to get shot. True.
脱走者なし。第3小隊より本部
Bro, I'm dead.
脱走者10名以上現在相当中制圧は時間の問題
第4小隊より本部滅菌終了脱走者なし
第3小隊より本部脱走者13名全員の射殺を確認全員の滅菌を終了
了解機密保持部隊の全小隊は確認を厳重に行われたし
No, Queen, continue your speech, please. Takano was laughing to herself inside of the van. She didn't physically see all those people dying silently. Oh! Don't clip that. Didn't happen. We're moving on. But she saw it anyway. Why she gotta look so fine? I think I just... She saw countless people dying without even noticing it. She saw it all in her mind. Queen! Mommy! Mommy! Takano waved her arms in the air. No one was watching her, but no one would understand what she was doing, even if they were. She was waving her baton. Not gonna lie, she really do look like a queen at the moment in all seriousness. It was just in her mind. She's her It was all in the head. Oh my god. What if Higurashi does have that kind of ending where it's like, it was all a dream. It was all in the head. Don't worry, don't worry. I always think that's such a cop-out of an ending whenever I see it. I don't know about you guys. Takano was pretending that she was the conductor of this silent funeral march.
さあさあ、非常時対策の完全終了を確認。通信妨害を終了しますが、よろしいですか?
Stop interrupting our queen. That would be the ultimate dropkick on the respect of all audiences. Yeah.
施設処理部隊より定時連絡。
This is clearly Rika's fault. Yeah, listen, chat. Takano did nothing wrong. I think that's what we learned from chapter 7.
機密搬出と溶接封鎖を完了。
Paste.
現在注水中。
交通封鎖部隊より定時連絡。封鎖線は異常なし。
通信工作部隊より定時連絡。通信妨害を終了。電話施設の現状復帰を開始。
Takano was paying no attention to those reports. She continued to sing the melody of an orchestra. One operator spoke to her.
ご機嫌ですね。
Ain't no way, bro. They should have changed this name to Captain Obvious. They should have just, like, went and inspect elemented this and just changed it to Captain Obvious. The fact this is fragments or alternate worlds make this even more sad. No matter Rika and crew go, these worlds will live on with so much destruction and death. True. True. Even if everything does end up fixed, it doesn't change the fact that all this has happened. Bro, don't remind me.
最高に気分がいい夜よ。あなたには聞こえないでしょうね。
Bro, I don't know what Tomitake was thinking when he turned Takano down. I would have just been like... No. Keep reading, keep reading.
この新しい神を称える賛歌が。
賛歌
He was a fool! Tomitake was obviously not right in the head. True. Takano laughed loudly, spreading her arms wide.
そうよ。称える歌、賛歌。神のいなかったこの地に新しい神が誕生した瞬間を称える賛歌よ。
He could have still hit that fool!
このひなみ沢には神などいなかった。
Unironically though, like not even joking, like memes aside, Takano is probably like one of my favorite villains after this chapter.
お社様という名が残るだけ。
Definitely in like a top 5. Yeah, definitely top 5. I was being a little hesitant about it because I'm kind of picky about like my favorite antagonists, because antagonists are like my favorite kind of characters. But she's definitely in top 5. Indeed, she's a fantastic villain.
神がかつて存在した痕跡が残るだけのただの古ぼけた土地だった。
I'm not saying I don't like hero characters or anything. I always find villains and antagonists the most interesting out of anybody in stories. In Tomitake's good ending, he would be Takano's chair at this moment as she gives her speech. Bro, I would kill to be Takano's chair. Man.
その地に私は再び神を取り戻させたの。どういうことかわかる？
わかる？
わからな ないでしょうね。
No one can understand you, Queen.
今の世界にたたる神が何人いる？人が試すことに耐えられる神が何人いる？一人もいやしない。それを私がたたった。
Takano laughed as if she was the only one who could comprehend what she was saying. Wasn't there a parody where that is true? She literally walks out of the base, Tobitake is her footstool. Wait, are you serious? Are you serious, Ruben? wait, is that a real thing? None of the operators inside the car could comprehend her laughter. Yes, I'm serious. Yes, you did it, Queen. Takano was satisfied to know that.
たたりなきは神にあらず。たたるゆえに恐れられ、恐れられるゆえに崇められる。それこそが神の真実。神が信仰を生み出すのではなく、信仰が神を生み出すのなら、神にたたりなど必要ない。
She's like a female Enel from One Piece. I don't know if you guys have ever watched One Piece or know who Enel is, but he kind of has like this same stance as Takano, where he's like believes himself to be like a god because he had like some OP devil fruit that allowed him to basically be like thunder and control thunder. Getting a real Enel vibes from Takano.
でも太古の神々はたたったのよ。
It was something with the anime. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it exists. Oh my god.
では、神のたたりとは何なのか。
Takano would body Thunder Man. Stinka poo poo Thunder Man would not be a threat.
それこそが真の神の証だった。たたらない神など、人間に見下された神でしかないのよ。神の宿らぬ抜け殻の土地に、神が確かに存在した痕跡を見た私は思ったわ。これは天の啓示だと。ダム戦争が終わるまで、明治から100年にもわたり、ひなみ沢は神を失ってきた。それを私が蘇らせろという神の啓示だと私は思ったわ。
Is anyone else imagining that bird meme? Of like the small bird and there's like the big bird yelling over it? I imagine like the small bird is like, alright, we got the mission completed, we can all go home, get a nice cup of coffee and relax. The gods bless me! I am a god! You all are beneath me! I am a god! The bird's just like... Ryukishi flexing his poetry skills through Takano. Truly.
そして天は私にありとあらゆる力を貸してくれた。天が与えたわずかの偶然が積もり、芽生えたたたりの芽を私が育てた。
Yeah, but in all likely, if Takano was real, she'd probably just be like one of those crackheads in the subway.
育まれたたたりは今や結実し、身をたわわに実らせてくれたわ。
Godly crackhead. Let's be honest, that is true. Yeah.
そうよ、わかる？つまりは今宵は収穫祭。お社様の伝説に刻まれた最後の神のたたりの日。
She'd be one of those people that get like caught on like someone's Snapchat story and the caption just says, "Bros on X Games, what the hell?"
この日が訪れたからこそ、お社様の存在は今こそ絶対となる。あなたたちは今は分からなくてもやがて知る。私が成した偉業がどれほどのものか、 どれだけ長く語り継がれるか。
Takano is indeed on X Games.
どれほどの存在となったのか。
You know, Takano kind of looked like the battle pass.
神はたたる。そのたたりを私は起こす。今こそ我はお社様のたたりなり。
She do kind of look like the battle pass.
我をあがめよ、たたえよ、そして恐れよ。
Oh! Oh, that was powerful. Hold on, I need to rehear that.
今こそ我はお社様のたたりなり。我をあがめよ、たたえよ、そして恐れよ。
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
我が紡ぐはたたりにあらず、死にあらず。
The VA is obviously having fun, true. Bro, I'm trying to get my Takano battle pass. I'm worshipping as hard as I can, bro. I'm on my hands and knees.
我が紡ぐは歴史なり。歴史はたたりを語り、我が存在を永劫に語り伝えるであろう。
I bet this is like one of her most like fun projects was voicing as Takano for this voice actress. I can imagine it'd be a lot of fun to do that project.
我こそはたたりなり。肉でできた身を超越せし者なり。この身がたとえ朽ち果てようとも、我が紡ぎし歴史は永遠に残り続けるであろう。
Amateurs, you need to massacre a town to meet her standard. True. You're not wrong, Ruben.
今こそ我は永遠を得たり。我が身を呪えよ人間たち。身が朽ちれば後には何も残せぬ無力さを呪い、悔やみ、恐れるがいい。
She's like, Mr. Ryukishi, how unhinged should I be? Ryukishi sips coffee. Yes. Indeed. Okay, now she sounds delusional.
そして我が偉大さを知るがいい。
I like how you didn't think she was delusional before, Ruben. It's just like, okay, now she's kind of cring.
我こそはお社様なり。今こそ神の領域に至ったものなり。
You've already signed up, Ruben. You can't back out now.
我は肉体が滅びようとも永遠にこの地で語り継がれるのだ。
Me when I see a deep fried meme. Bruh said I think my battle pass expired and tried to leave. Yes, I must endure as the true worshipper of Takano.
我はお社様。我こそはお社様のたたり。我をあがめよ。たたえよ。そして恐れよ。我が紡ぐはたたりにあらず、死にあらず。我が紡ぐは歴史なり。歴史はたたりを語り、我が存在を永劫に語り伝えるであろう。
That was a good laugh, not gonna lie. True.
我こそはたたりなり。肉でできた身を超越せし者なり。この身がたとえ朽ち果てようとも、我が紡ぎし歴史は永遠に残り続けるであろう。今こそ我は永遠を得たり。我が身を呪
Oh my god, Takano. Jesus. You got a whole speech.
後には何も残せぬ無力さを呪い悔やみ恐れるがいい
Actually, no, Takano is leagues above. True.
我が偉大さを知るがいい我こそはお社様なり今こそ神の領域に至ったものなり我は肉体が滅びようとも永遠にこの地で語り継がれて
You can't be a villain if you don't have a massive monologue. That's true. I can't even argue that. Nope. I imagine this would be her acceptance speech when she undoubtedly wins the Nobel Peace Prize after this. It's Villain 101. Not even wrong. Oh man, is it over already? Man. That's sad. Oh. Scenario mode's been unlocked. Tips reading room has been unlocked. Staff room has been unlocked. Okay. You know, you guys know what I miss? I miss the staff room review sessions with the whole cast, where everybody was still having a good time, like, haha, that ended kind of sad. Hopefully next time, now it's just Ryukashi, like, yeah, that was sad. Let's check out the tip. Here we go. This fragment's end. I guess Rika finally managed to assemble all the pieces to her puzzle. But we don't know yet if her memories will pass on to her next life. Rika always loses the memory of her death. I don't know if she can retain the memories of what she's discovered. What did you think? Did you have fun? That's an interesting question to ask. Overall, yes. Once you find out the answers, collecting them isn't so fun anymore. Well, that's debatable. Yeah, was that fun? Ryukashi bashing us over the head with a baseball bat. This is sad. Those all cast reviews, returns in the console arcs? Oh, nice. You don't agree? I see. You still might find something different by examining some old fragments. After all, the time we have here is endless. We have to find something to play with, because there's nothing to do here. For me, playing with these fragments stops being fun when I find out what's inside. But if you can tell me how to have fun with them, even so, that makes you pretty smart. What? You want to know what I play with? Hey, yo. I don't play, I'm just killing time. Okay, good, good. She's clear, she's clear. I like to imagine what Rika could have done in order to achieve the future she hopes for. I'd like to imagine a world that would have been happy for all of them. You found out how these worlds are set up by looking at the previous ones, right? I'd like to analyze what world would need to change in order for Rika to win against Takano. Play with, you say? You want to see what's on my mind? Too bad. I'm not showing that to you. In that world, Rika and her friends survived their struggle and broke through the fate of June 1983. It's just my imagination. It's not for me to share with you. I'm sure the world that Rika is about to create is better than anything in my imagination. Even if she's stuck on June 19th in 1983. I'm sure this now-ended world will remain one of Rika's brightest fragments either way. I can't be the only one whose mind went to a certain route. It might just be... No. Yeah, I know what you mean. You see, Rika, where you went wrong in this fragment is you didn't hit that stanky leg. Rika didn't cast them into the cringe dimension. Rika didn't put Takano in her cringe compilation. That was ultimately her downfall. I'm sure this now-ended world will remain one of Rika's brightest fragments either way. No matter how much she struggles, if she actually overcomes her fate, it will be the most brilliant fragment of her story. Takano cringes so hard she just stops. I'm sure the life Rika lives makes for a better story than my boring imagination. You want to know what happened to Rika? She made a decision to redo her life once again with Hanyu. She is trying to live her life with all her might. That's what she learned from this world. Her next life has already begun. I do wonder what that life is like. I'm going there now to check. Do you want to come with me? Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's a sad last tip. His screen? What? Screen-sama. Okay, alright, Screen-sama's good. Rika's cringe levels was nowhere near Takano's levels. That's the real reason why Rika lost. Alright, stat from. Hi, this is Ryukishi07. Hey, Ryukishi. Thank you for playing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 7, Minogoroshi. This time around, the scenario was almost like the answer page in a book of riddles. Or maybe the scenario was like a side dish we enjoyed alongside all the scenarios up until now. You can take it how you like. I just hope you enjoyed it. I did. You are a very talented writer, Ryukishi. I was very nervous about releasing this scenario because a mystery is only good when it's still a mystery. F you, Ryukishi, your Higurashi made me cry. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Ryukishi pulls out bat. Have you cried yet? I still think even if you know the answer, it only like adds to the it adds to like the replayability because you can read through all the different chapters and you can see like, oh, okay, so this was like obvious, like foreshadowing to this in hindsight. You're like, oh, okay, you notice things you didn't notice the first time around. So I don't think like getting the answers makes it inherently worse. I don't agree with you there, Mr. Ryukishi. I think you've done a great job. To be honest, some people agree with the point Ryukishi makes. I can see that, but I don't think getting the answer necessarily ruins the story. I don't think he's giving himself enough credit. This scenario marks the end of that mystery. To be honest, I didn't want to release this chapter for a while. However, way too many similar stories are being published with no answer at all. Some enjoyed the mystery more than the actual answers given. I can understand that. And there is some merit to like stories that have like open-ended endings, but here's the thing. It's okay if the ending is good. I think Ryukishi is making the endings good, which is what matters to me. That's the important thing, is making the endings good. Because if your ending sucks, that could ruin the entire story. If you know what I mean. Some enjoy the mystery more... Oh, yeah, I already read that. A book of riddles means nothing if there's no answer page in the back. Coming up with an answer when you have no way to see if it's right or not is a little sad, I think. If there are no answers, you can't get any joy out of reading a book of riddles. I regret to see that there are way too many stories out there that don't offer this kind of joy. That's why I decided to release something that you can compare your answer to for this series. Since this world had a rather irregular presentation, there may not have been many people who reached what might have been called the right answer. What were your thoughts on this chapter? I thought it was really good. I thought the Satoko bit was a bit dragged out, pacing was a bit rough there, but I'd say it was still really good. Probably third favorite chapter so far. I'm gonna say like chapter 6 is my favorite, chapter 5 is my second favorite, and chapter 7 is my third favorite. I think I'm pretty sold on that. Thoughts on Takano? Takano's a great villain. Absolutely amazing. I don't know if you were here, Joaquin, but we were all bowing before my thoughts. Solid resolution and F Tepe, yeah. Like very, very good chapter overall. One of the best, easily. But it's not really about whether your answer was right or wrong. It's much more about how many questions you raised when reading the story and how many answers you were able to find. Thank you all very much for the solutions you've sent me. They were all wonderful theories, and some were thought out so much more than the actual story that I frequently thought about making them the right answer. Wry laugh. He's like, No. I think you're a very talented writer, Ryukishi. I think you're very talented. I wouldn't let stuff like that get you down. I know I'm talking to a past Ryukishi and none of this matters, but I kind of like to think that I'm talking with him personally in these sections. I cry at the club's deaths in this chapter. It was sad. It was so freaking sad. Bruh, Ryukishi questioning himself as a mystery writer. Golden unfortunately got called into work. Sorry to hear that, Golden. Hope it's not too bad of a day for you. Also, your support has given me courage to finish writing the 7th chapter of this series. And Oishi? Oh yeah, Oishi. Oishi's death. It's like you knew he was gonna die, but at the same time, you're not like really ready to accept it. My only reaction to it was just like, 07s, man. You got a 07s for Oishi. What a trooper. Absolute Chad. Thank you very much for supporting Higurashi. And Takano military uniform. Oh. I had a very wholesome reaction to it. We'll say that. I totally didn't go and go, oh! Everyone say bye to Golden. Bye, Golden. Bye-bye. Finally, I would like to apologize how I portrayed the Child Consultation Center. I don't know what it was like in 1983, but child consultation centers are not mean places like I depicted in my story. Well, yeah, it's your story, man. It's an over-exaggeration. You're good. They made the characters look so unfeeling. But in reality, the government today is the #1 hero for us civilians. In fact, those involved with child welfare and youth education are all extremely passionate and selflessly devoted people. I'm sorry for giving them such a negative image in this chapter. Next chapter... Oh no. I'm gonna get clipped. There's no way I'm saying this right. I'm gonna butcher this. Matsuri Bayashi... Oh, God. I tried. Matsuri Bayashi is going to be the last one of the series. I'm overwhelmed by the pressure of writing the last chapter of Higurashi When They Cry, which turned out to be such a long story. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Ryukishi. Love you, man, but you're not wrong. I hope you'll continue your kind support. Thank you all very much. 7th expansion, Ryukishi 07. 07's Ryukishi. Thank you, soldier, for this amazing story. 07's for Ryukishi. Oh man. But that is chapter 7, man.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
I do.
3 people said bye.
I do, Golden. Thank you so much for the jelly beans. Bits. But, yeah, man. That is chapter 7. Thanks so much for the amazing story, Ryukishi. Yeah. I'm gonna cut off the stream here. Probably stream some Pokemon later on today. After I get a break and get some food. But, guys, the next time we stream Higurashi, that's the last chapter. We'll be starting the last chapter next time we stream Higurashi. It's like, think about that for a second. Oh my god, it's been such a long journey with this series. I've had my moments where I've not liked it, or moments where I feel like it's dragged on, but overall, it's been a really fun experience. I don't want to think about that, I know. It has been such a fun experience, though. Like, I wouldn't really want to trade it for anything. And if I could reread through all of it, I would. But, yeah, man. This has been so much fun, and I'm not sure how I'm going to feel when I'm actually done with the series. But yeah, I don't really have anyone that I can raid, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here. Hope everyone has a good day. I'll see y'all later, and peace.